You want to talk about Pokemon? I could name them all.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Pikachu!
It's Clefairy!
World War Weeb, the beginning. Hello, dear readers. Hi, Sincerely Sinclair. I'm back with a new Neckbeard story. But before we start, some housekeeping needs to be done. Aw, man. That's my least favorite part. First, kudos to ReddX. Oh, thank you. He did an amazing job bringing my tale of woe to life. And if you haven't already, go give his channel some love. I mean, considering it's on r/ReddX Reads, probably they know, but I do appreciate the plug regardless. Secondly, I did get a few questions on Ice Cream Beard, and I wanted to let you guys know that the ice cream he had was butterscotch with Dippin' Dots. Yeah, of course, Neckbeards love butterscotch. Not the beardiest ice cream, though. According to this poll we ran, cookie dough, favorite beard ice cream by a long shot, followed by cookies and creams. I guess Neckbeards just love cookies in general. I mean, I'm guilty of that. Mint Chip came in third place, which is kind of weird, because we got one of our Jerry's that's named after Mint Chip, so that worries me a little bit. But regardless, yes, I can just imagine a beard opening his maw and pouring buttery scotch inside of it. This was strange, as I did a number count for the ice cream with a couple of other volunteers before we started, and we didn't even carry Dippin' Dots, or anything similar to it. He just came over for the toppings. Oh, maybe he's a time traveler. He brought this ice cream from the future. Dang! Dippin' Dots are fucking cool, though.
For the love of God, stay away from the Dippin' Dots! Oh, no. Oh, not the Dippin' Dots! The damn Dippin' Dots didn't do anything to anybody!
Do they have a flavor? I don't think it really has a flavor aside from future. It tastes like the future. To this day, I am of the firm opinion that he brought his own ice cream to the event to have it with the butterscotch that we provided. God, I wish that had been included in the last tale. That's hilarious. Why would he do such a thing? Well, I don't know, nor do I care to know. We'll have to live with that mystery for the rest of our lives. It's tragic, I know. But perhaps this Neckbeard story will soothe the ice cream beard-induced headache that was my previous one. God, beautiful writing. I love it already. But first, let's get through this cast list. We got OP, 14, female, a weeb, a crybaby, and the new kid at school. We've got our Neckbeard, aka Camelotbeard. Think of your usual Neckbeard with a fetish for Japan. But this kid was obsessed with England. He fully believed himself to be King Arthur, my fellow readers, and that the history class was his domain. Well, I'd like to say it's better, but it's not really better, is it? You're still just fetishizing another country. Please don't do that. This part will simply scratch the surface of my encounters with Camelotbeard, and there will be more to come. Posted 5 months ago. I hope so. Guys, gals, and non-binary pals, allow me to take you back to yesteryear. Back when heavy eyeliner was in. People wore bright neon clothes with dark emo-style clothes. Multicolored hair that towered over all was popular. And Invader Zim merch from Hot Topic was adorned as though it was priceless jewelry. Yeah, I think we're about the same age, OP. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that out there. I remember yesteryear. Those were, yeah, it was a time. The 2000s were a fucking trip. I wasn't a scene kid, but I was a weeb. You want to talk about Pokemon? I could name them all.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Pikachu!
It's Clefairy!
Back then, I probably could too. Now there's like 500 or 600, and I kind of lost track. You want a Naruto run through the hallways? Of course I'll join you. Did we speak very poor Japanese because we were cool? I'm afraid we did. It was all good fun, and being moved from my old school to a new school was terrifying. The move was for my education. While my former school was good for forming friendships and getting a basic grasp on my education, it didn't have a strong college track, and my parents decided that it was time for a move. Now, if you got to go to a completely new high school, then you're basically starting fresh. You didn't have to continue down the weeb route, you know? The same thing kind of happened to me when we moved from Sun Valley, because, you know, the high school was basically a mess. Lots of drugs and students banging teachers and whatnot.
FBI, open up!
My parents are like, we got to get the hell out of here. So we moved to Burbank for high school. And I went from having like, 2 or 3 nerdy friends to 2 or 3 punk friends. Which I don't know if it's any better. Punks are really secretly nerds in disguise, I'm pretty sure. I think they were also trying to angle me towards college, but that didn't happen. So, just look at me now. Oh, I understand now that I'm older and more aware of how important education is. But as a kid, this move was a world-shattering event. Yeah, I guess it's because we moved a lot that I didn't even think twice about it. I'm just like, okay, we're moving again. I said goodbye to all of my friends, and we swore that we'd always be friends, as we were bound by embarrassing childhood memories of wearing Naruto headbands and making origami shurikens. Good times. The new school was a parent's dream for their child's education, and had strong connections to really good colleges. But for me, I was intimidated. The school was big, and there were more people in my class than there were in my old school's entire grade level, and everyone had basically attended school together since kindergarten, so the group dynamics were already set in stone. What was a hopeless weeb like me to do? Transform! Become who you want to be! That's the magic of changing schools. Nobody here knows you. You can be whoever you want. And you still chose to be a weeb. I gotta admire that. You're sticking to your roots. Being honest with people. I kept the origami shuriken that me and my friends made in a white binder as a keepsake. I hurried down the labyrinth-like halls to try and find my class, and I was also trying not to cry. I was like a little boat being tossed in a gigantic storm. Every new wave crashing down on my vessel was a heavy hit on my self-confidence reserves that today quite possibly might go well, maybe. I promise you can find the place where you slot in, OP. Don't worry too much about that. Then again, it's easy for me to say because I always had backup, either in the form of my brother or my cousin when I moved to Burbank, or, my winning personality. Not everybody's gonna like the jokes, but there's always a few, That's what happened with this channel, too. So far, I'd gone to 3 classes, and I hadn't made any friends. It's your first day, take it easy. I was fairly certain that no one had even noticed that I existed, so my young mind automatically casted myself as the perpetual friendless wallflower who would never have another friend for the rest of her life. I was gonna go down on this ship and sink to the bottom of the friendless loser sea. Bruh, it's your first day. Take it easy, okay? It's not all that dramatic. You didn't make friends like your first day? That's cool. Give it a week. With lunch coming up right after 3rd period, I dreaded the idea of sitting by myself and strongly just considered calling my parents to come pick me up, citing that good old I threw up excuse. But it never came to that because 3rd period class was history. And I think you mean that in like a literal and a figurative sense, which is pretty cool. I entered into a classroom that was decked out in historical figures both well-known and obscure. My teacher, Miss G, the sweetest old lady that has ever graced this earth and whom I still talk to this day, welcomed me into her classroom. It was like coming in from the cold and having a warm blanket placed around your shoulders. Miss G saw my origami shuriken and smiled. "I see someone's good with paper," she beamed. "Why don't you go and sit at the Japan table? Oh, sugoi!
This is absolutely sugoi.
She got your number basically immediately. Goddamn, I like Miss G already. Her classroom was split into nations. Everyone got to take a vote on the nations that would be used for the seating chart, and Japan was a steady regular. I bolted to the Japan table, and it was there that I met the school's weebs. The second they saw my sad doodles of Kakashi, Rock Lee, and the third Hokage, they instantly welcomed me into the fold, and I had friends. Told you, you give it a week. Don't freak out within the first 2 periods or whatever. It ain't that serious. It's gonna happen eventually. Nobody can stay a loner forever. Eventually you'll find an extrovert who wants to adopt you or something like that. Anyways, these weebs were pretty hardcore into their study of Japan, to where everyone's parents chipped in for a tutor to help them speak Japanese, to become more enmeshed into the culture by taking them to the gardens, trying authentic Japanese-style cuisine on the weekends. We still did the Naruto run and fun shit like that, but they despised what I would learn was hentai. I was a sweet summer child back then. The young neckbeard that is the title of this story, Camelotbeard. Why aren't you sitting at the England table, Camelotbeard? Get out here! This Japan table ain't for you! It does seem interesting to me just how hardcore everyone's parents are going with this whole Japan thing. It seems like it was just a table, but for everybody here, maybe it's more of a lifestyle. Camelotbeard was the undisputed leader of the UK table. Oh, okay. Then he's not at the Japan table. I take it all back. Mainly because he was so fucking overbearing and just threw a massive bitch fit when things didn't go his way. England. The UK table and the Japan table had a complicated history. Yeah, they fought in World War II, don't you know? I mean, not directly, but they were on opposing sides. If you're familiar with anime and stuff, you might have noticed that Japan has a thing for the English style of dress, and that sort of thing, and vice versa. Upon sitting down at the Japan table, I was unwittingly aware of what was bubbling underneath the surface of this beautiful classroom. It was World War Weeb. Who's gonna win? Nobody. Everybody loses. If you participated, you lost. The relationship between the Japan table and the UK table, where Camelotbeard sat and lorded over as though he was the king of the castle.
Oh, well. King in the castle, king in the castle. Have a chair, I have a chair.
Relations had steadily worsened over the past semester. From what I could gather, it all started after Camelotbeard had either fallen, or perhaps intentionally smashed, the Japan's table of tea and goodies for the UN Day, and had outright refused to apologize because he couldn't deal with another table serving tea. Oh man, this is getting pathetic already, isn't it? Look what you have wrought upon these children, Miss G. She just tried to do something nice, and humans, as usual, fuck it up. Camelotbeard claimed, "Tea is an English drink. We had it first." Well, I don't think he was aware of China's existence yet, but why fill his head with something like facts? Neckbeards are going to believe what neckbeards want to believe. The Japan table, of course, took offense, and the other tables in the classroom, France, Egypt, Austria, and Spain, took Japan's side. They refused to touch any of the UK table's snacks. Camelotbeard was incensed at this sanction. And it vowed revenge against the Japan table. I can just imagine poor Miss G in the corner like, "Okay, children, please stop fighting. It's not that serious." And these high school kids are like, "No, Japan table has offended us greatly." It's just far too ridiculous for words, and I think that's why I love it so much. My new friends pointed across the classroom to where the UK table was. They had 5 members, as did we, and gave me a basic breakdown of the members who sat over there. Camelotbeard, king in the castle. I would call him King Arthur, but that would be a slam on Arthur, and I don't have the heart to do that to the mythos. He was large and in charge. Puberty was kicking in, and it was not kind to him in any way, shape, or form. He was growing what would soon become a patchy beard that would grow all over his acne-riddled face. His body odor hadn't started yet, but it too was sure to hit with all the grace of a bullet train. Sir Galahad was a neckbeard in training, who was Camelot's sycophant, a toady, if there ever was one. He was born without a personality, and defaulted to agreeing with whatever Camelotbeard said or did. Yeah, I guess that makes things pretty easy, if you ain't gotta think for yourself. I feel a little bad about judging him so harshly now, as it later turned out that he had a pretty shit home life. I guess throwing himself into the mythos of King Arthur was his coping mechanism. As I was heavily into quoting Naruto when I was scared or stressed back then, I feel like we might have been friends, if not for Camelotbeard's influence, and the fact that he would have insulted inferior Eastern cartoons. You gotta watch some of those good old English animes. I don't know what you call them, because I don't think there are any. Probably the comments will correct me. We've also got Guinevere, Camelotbeard's girlfriend? Milady, at the very least. I don't know. She was pretty quiet and didn't really speak much. I do remember that she had the most adorable laugh, and it was a thing in the classroom to see if we could make her crack a smile or laugh. The Spain table had the most wins on that front. Kudos to you, Spain. Sir Lancelot was the coolest kid at the UK table, which seems like a pretty low barrier to entry. And he was also someone that I had a minor crush on. Ooh. He was a skater and carried his board around like it was the literal holy grail. He could do some pretty impressive moves too. I can't recall him ever wiping out. I think probably he did. All skaters do. Your mind just wiped that part from your memory so he could stay super cool. Overall, he's a nice laid-back dude with a very cute smile, and it made my heart go doki doki. Doki doki. Alright, well, I'm shipping OP and Lancelot. Let's get it on! I mean, not literally, they're in high school. But, I hope they do hold hands or have a kiss at lunch break or something. Whatever those high school kids do. I can't remember. History class was spent getting to know my other classmates. They were all history nerds, and very excited to talk about their table's history and what they were doing for their projects for that final exam. I had moved mid-semester, so I missed the fall and was starting in the spring. I was entering late into the game. Did your parents plan this move out, or was it like spur of the moment? It doesn't seem very planned out, if I'm honest. Gwyn and Lance were nice enough to come over to our table and talk. Lance did a lot of the talking, but Gwyn apologized in advance about Camelotbeard. Nah, there's no apologizing for that. That is not your fault. I want an apology from his mother. Gwyn, he's... I could see that she was choosing her words wisely. He's enthusiastic about the UK. I wouldn't take what he says to heart. I mean, overly enthusiastic is a thing. You realize we're all in a high school in fucking America, right? Why did nobody pick to be America? I would pick to be America. Camelotbeard wasn't in class that day. He had a doctor's appointment. And when we went to lunch, I sat with the Japan table and some of the Spain table too. They showed me where the good spots to sit in the cafeteria were, and generally helped me to get more comfortable with the school and where all my classes were. I had almost forgotten about Camelotbeard until I heard the thundering footsteps of our Lord Neckbeard. I turned around and there I saw him. He was huffing, but whether that was from his run from the front door to the cafeteria, or whether he was just pissed off at seeing the Japan table, I don't really know. He was wearing a striped shirt that was about 2 sizes too small, and it made him look like a beach ball that had come to life. Probably horizontal stripes too. Big fat boy wearing horizontal stripes. I mean, it's not flattering for anybody. It makes you look like you're dressing like a 6-year-old, but especially if you're a big boy. Never do that. It's about the one and only fashion tip that I ever have for anybody. Clutched in his left fist was a McDonald's bag, and in the other was his backpack. He sneered at the members of the Japan table and said,
"So, we meet again."
"Yes, indeed we do. I see you've got your McDonald's bag accessory there." Sold separately. "I'm quivering in my boots, y'all. We got ourselves a bit of an edgelord." I don't remember who said it, although I'm fairly certain it was someone from the Spain table, but they responded, "We always sit here? This is our spot."
"Shut up,"
declared Camelotbeard.
"I'm not talking to."
He spotted me, in the midst of the members of the Japan table, surrounded by my new friends. Camelotbeard spotted me. Camelotbeard came up behind me. The body heat he was radiating was something else. I mean, all those calories gotta go somewhere. Body's like, "What do you do? We can't store any more fat." "Just burn it." I don't know. It was like standing next to a mini sun. He put his hands on the back of my chair and smiled at me. I guessed that he wasn't at a dental appointment because his teeth were yellow and his breath smelled bad. Yeah, that's fair for neckbeards, isn't it? He is the reason that I now carry mints with me wherever I go.
"Forsooth, I'm a lady."
My dumbass thought he was talking about like a new type of Pokemon or something, since we were trading cards at that moment with Spain. "That's a clay fairy?" I responded, holding said card in my hand. It was a shiny, and I was gonna get that Dragonite from Spain come hell or high water. Was it a clay fable? Are basic cards shiny? I'm gonna use my nerd knowledge to poke a hole in the story. Although I don't really collect Pokemon cards, so I don't know for sure. But it seems weird that a final evolution isn't the shiny. Of course, Camelotbeard clarified.
"No,"
he whined.
"You're a lady."
And could he not see that I was busy? I got trades to make, son.
"And you should sit over with me and my knights and the other milady. We're the knights of the round table, and we're noble and yada yada yada."
Do you have Pokemon? That's all it takes. Oh my, how easily swayed we are. I asked.
"What?"
"Pokemon cards," I repeated, again showing him my deck.
"No, but we have..."
"I'm good, thanks." That exchange is just beautiful. It sums up everything about high school ever. I turned away and went back to my trade. Dragonite, here I come! Camelotbeard had never been so disrespected by a milady before. How was this possible? He was Camelotbeard, ruler of the UK table, defender of the realm, beloved by all. Except for me, because I was just hyper-focused on completing my Pokemon card collection. Priorities! Little did I know that by rebuffing Camelotbeard's offer, I started the fire that would crescendo into the final battle of World War Weeb. Argue about who the coolest Dragon Ball Z character, it's Piccolo in case you guys were wondering.
This is amazing! I feel incredible! Yes, 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 yes!
World War Weeb, the land of Egypt. Oh my god, we're going so far away. I mean, I guess technically Egypt's between the UK and Japan, but who are they gonna side with? Hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Imagine my surprise when I got people asking for updates. God bless anybody who sent Sinclair a message. That's a real MVP play too, man. I didn't want to reach out myself and make it feel like I was forcing anybody into something, but, you know, just a gentle nudge to write some more, and it was delivered so fast. Oh, it's just beautiful. I love it. Thank you. That's all I can really say. I can't say that I blame ya, and who am I to deny you? I am your humble author, and ReddX is your marvelously talented narrator. Oh, I blush. But before we begin the second installment of this train wreck, let's go ahead and get the cast out of the way. We've got ROP, 14 female at the time, a weeb, a crybaby, and the new kid at school. Our neckbeard,
That's Camelotbeard.
think of your usual neckbeard with a fetish for Japan, but instead, this kid was obsessed with England. He fully believed himself to be King Arthur, my fellow readers, and that the history class
Was his domain.
No, for real though, people taking this whole history class thing like way too seriously. The tables divided into nations seems like a good idea until you realize that people will have gang wars over wearing a different color. Like, this could turn very bad. Lance was the coolest kid at the UK table, which is a pretty low bar, I think. He was a skateboarder, a chill dude, and my school crush. He made my little heart go doki doki. Cleo was the queen of the table of Egypt. Brains, beauty, brawn, and a hater of Camelotbeard. Also, my mortal nemesis in Civilization 6, but I guess that's neither here nor there. Backstory. I was the new kid, just trying to find my place in the school that already had groups developed. I would unwittingly cause World War Weeb. What can I say? We all make mistakes. I mean, the reactive chemicals were there. You were sort of just the catalyst that set the whole thing off. I think it would have happened eventually. One little spark is all it took. Anyways, when I first came to the history class, I was a crybaby weeb. Today, I'm no longer a crybaby, and my weeaboo days are long behind me. However, I did not grow a spine overnight, but I did lose my weeb tendencies fairly quickly. Nobody grows a spine overnight. It takes years to cultivate it. Remember how I said that the Japan table was serious about Japan stuff? How their parents had hired a tutor to speak Japanese. They went to botanical gardens, ate legit sushi. They literally took classes on how to make sushi. That sounds so awesome. I want to take a sushi making class. And yeah, they dove into all sorts of other Japanese cuisine. I mean, that was great and all, but it was too much for me. I was nowhere near as hardcore as the other members were. Like I said, people are really identifying with this shit. Like, it's fun, but it's just one class out of, what, 6 or 7? Come on, bro. At a certain point, it becomes madness. Sure, they were happy to talk about Pokemon and argue about who the coolest Dragon Ball Z character. It's Piccolo, in case you guys were wondering.
This is amazing! I feel incredible! Yes!
I got no dog in this fight. But they were more into everything Japanese, rather than a small subsection of the entire culture. As it should be, I guess. As a result, I started to feel a little bit left out. It wasn't done on purpose, but when one person's interest in a subject doesn't match up to the rest of the group, I guess it happens. Yeah, then you have a choice to make, OP. Do you want to broaden your horizons and dive into all things Japanese? Or, yeah, the easier thing to do is probably pull back and be like, okay, I just want to talk about Pokemon, you guys. I don't know what's going on. They were great to me for those first few awkward days, but it soon became apparent that I couldn't hold my Japanness up to their level. Now that I didn't have a group of hardcore weeby friends, I was forced to grow. Oh God, that's so difficult. I went to Miss G, and I asked her if I could rotate between tables until I found a group that I felt good with. Miss G, again, the smartest and sweetest woman, saw that I wasn't as enmeshed in Japan, and she welcomed me just moving around and talking to some other people. Miss G did caution that I would have to find my own table sooner rather than later, or I would be forced to do the final project by myself. I wasn't totally sold on group projects anyways, so the idea of working by myself didn't really worry me. Yeah, group projects, always a mess. It's always just going to be one person that does it and everybody else that flakes out. Or maybe everybody just expects that that one person is going to do it and it's not going to be them. And then everybody fails. I've seen that happen too. It is ugly. At least that was my experience with college classes in a nutshell. I don't think we really did it in elementary or high school. You were all on your own, and I agree with OP. I kind of like that better. Anyways, so the next class period, I told the members of the Japanese table what was going to happen. They wished me the best and made me an origami flower. Well, it's not an origami shuriken, but I guess I'll take it. I put it next to my shuriken, and without further delay, I left. Across the classroom I traveled, with only my heart and growing origami collection to guide and sustain my awkward soul. It's so dramatic. I love it. It was a rocky journey. The other tables were close-knit, but I found sanctuary at the Egypt table. Now, you have all already met the leader of the UK table, Camelotbeard, but allow me to introduce to you the leader of the glorious table of Egypt. Her name was Cleo. She was a volleyball player with long black hair and a penchant for stunning eye makeup. Yeah, that sounds like Cleopatra, all right. The girl wore eyeshadow that was brighter than my future. God damn it. Cleo was the gracious and humble leader of the Egypt table. I mean, part of me surprised that they picked Egypt as, a country table, but I guess I should be more surprised by Spain. Egypt has like pyramids and stuff like that. Really, all countries have like something cool within them. And yeah, you can't deny that Egyptian history. It goes a long way back. Cleo welcomed me like we had been friends for years. When she learned that I was going to be moving around from table to table, she gave me some sage advice. Avoid the UK table, she cautioned. Camelotbeard is an asshole. That bad, huh? Have you not realized how long you been here? It only takes a day. Yes, he's that bad. Did he not assault you over the Pokemon cards at lunch in the last episode? Fuck that kid, that's all I'm saying. Her eyes narrowed in his direction as he loudly talked about his weekend. Pff, much worse than that. He destroyed one of my favorite palettes last semester. It was a birthday gift from my Nona. It was Mac. What did he do? I foolishly asked. Cleo's jaw clenched. He fucking ate it. Yeah, that's about what we'd expect from a beard. Anything that will fit inside their mouth. They're basically like giant toddlers. Don't trust them with those pennies. He did what? I couldn't have heard her right. My hearing must be going. There was no way that someone he licked the palate like it was ice cream. Another member of the table whispered to me. Oh, ice cream is just a recurring theme in this OP stories. All these beards, they just can't keep their tongue in their mouth. There's something in the water, I'm pretty sure. It's true. I saw him do it, a second member nodded. Why did he? 'Cause he's an asshole. That's why, Cleo sneered. He knew that I was excited to get it. I got to enjoy that palette for just 1 week before he got his grubby hands on it and screwed it up. If you have anything that you love, keep it away from him. He likes to destroy things, and he likes destroying nothing more than himself, as has been clearly evidenced. I really should have taken Cleo's warnings to heart, but I figured that since I didn't keep anything as expensive as makeup around, and I had made all the Pokemon trades with Spain that I had wanted, I really had nothing to lose. Again, I was a sweet summer child. That's right, all you can really lose is your innocence. Time makes fools of us all, and my time would be coming up quite shortly. Oh, OP. Until that tragic day would strike me, I stayed in Egypt and enjoyed Cleo's hospitality. She was a brilliant girl with an excessive amount of confidence. To someone like me, who was basically without a spine, it was admirable to be around her, which was often, as we shared a lot of classes together. Aw, new BFF, that's alright. It's time to leave weeby things behind. I can safely say that Cleo was the sole reason that I passed my math class that year. In return for her tutoring me, I allowed myself to be used as a makeup dummy for her when she wanted to test out her skills or try out some new styles. That sounds like a win-win. I mean, unless she's bad at it, but it doesn't seem like she's bad at it. Every morning after gym, we would sit in the locker room and Cleo would patiently do my eyes. I hadn't started wearing makeup yet, and Cleo was mindful that I didn't like or look good in heavy dramatic makeup. I'll admit that I was hesitant about wearing eyeshadow, as I had a really bad habit of rubbing my eyes. Well, this will break you of that habit, don't you worry. What was the point of wearing something pretty if I was just gonna mess it up when I felt tired? It's all a learning process. You could break a bad habit in a week if you just remember not to do it. And I bet you will remember not to do it because being shamed socially is a great motivator. Unless you're a neckbeard. The first time I wore it, I felt unsure about it all. But when I got to history class, something happened. The first being that Camelotbeard was hovering over the French table. He was, of course, being an asshole, as usual. He was insulting the French's ability to win wars, when Joan, a staunch defender of France's table against all opponents, lobbed the most devastating of insults. "At least my country didn't lose the 100 Years' War," she hissed. Oh, snap. Now it's getting real. I mean, they are learning history, obviously, but is this really the way? This was apparently a huge fucking thing between Joan and Camelotbeard, and I had no clue. I was just happy to be in class on time. My locker was on the other side of the school, and I had to run so as not to be late. As Camelotbeard promptly decided to lose his shit, the second thing happened, and that was Lance. He put his hand on Camelotbeard's shoulder and told him, "Not worth it. Remember UN Day?" Lance's words were meant to calm Camelotbeard down, but, they had the opposite effect.
Tea is an English drink!
You're really stuck on that, aren't you? He desperately looked around for someone to agree with him, and that someone was me. He barreled towards me, got right into my personal space, and asked/demanded/bellowed,
Hey, LP, tea is an English drink, right? Yes or no?
I'm pretty sure that tea came from China. As many of the comments in the last video pointed out, England was actually one of the last people in Europe to get tea. They just latched onto it really hard. I hadn't expected to be pulled into a skirmish. I was a standalone country. Cleo hadn't gotten out of science yet, and France was all too happy to let someone else deal with the English for once. Like the Americans. Yeah, boy. History lesson. All the other tables awaited what I would say. I could see Japan poised and ready to leap to my defense. It was a touching display to know that I had allies all the way across the classroom, but it was unneeded. Like a knight of old, Lance stepped in. "I like your eyes," he said. "They're pretty." Well, damn. Who could focus on the neckbeard in front of you with a sweet compliment like that? I immediately ignored Camelotbeard and turned all of my attention to Lance. Thanks. Cleo did it for me. "That's cool. You sitting with her today?" "Yeah," I responded, ever oblivious to Camelotbeard's growing outrage that two people were having a discussion and didn't invite him. "That's right, none may sit higher than the king."
Are you wearing makeup?
Camelotbeard asked, breaking into our conversation. Yeah. I blinked slowly so Cleo's handiwork could be displayed.
I like ladies who look more natural,
Camelotbeard scoffed.
And no one likes ladies who wear heavy makeup.
Oh, he's speaking for all men at this point. I really don't think OP gives a single shit what Camelotbeard thinks. Lance likes it, and that's more than enough motivation to continue doing it. It also, pushes Camelotbeard away, which is double motivation. This was my first experience with someone negging me. I didn't really know what to make of it, but I did know two things. One, Lance thought my eyes looked pretty. And two, Camelotbeard was repulsed by girls who wore the kind of eyeshadow that I had on. In my book, that was a win-win. Exactly like I said. Continue doing this, never stop no matter what. But alas, I had no clever comebacks or brilliant strokes of comedy that would defend me from the flirtations or attempts of flirtations by Camelotbeard. Instead, I stupidly said, I don't care, and I don't drink tea. It's not that stupid, that's just kind of blunt, but it gets the point right across. I know what you're thinking. OP, why don't you drink tea? I would never think that. I drink coffee 100%. I think tea's gross. It's one of the most popular drinks in the world. What's up with that? And my answer to that would be, I don't know, guys. It just never really clicked for me. I like lemon tea stuff, but that's once in a blue moon. Naturally, I wasn't going to tell Camelotbeard my drink preferences, but the damage had already been done. I had told him, a true fake-ass Englishman, that I didn't drink tea. I had no idea just how badly I had fucked up. Dun, dun, dun! That's some foreshadowing for you. As Cleo entered, I made my escape, but I would not be able to escape Camelotbeard the next time that I saw him in class. Indeed, I had offended him beyond all compare, and in his eyes I was blind to the glory of the UK. I obviously needed to have someone like him to show me the way. Camelotbeard assigned himself to the job, and of course, accepted it immediately. Oh God, a neckbeard trying to fix another human? You know that's not gonna go well. God damn it, dude. Oh, high school, what a regrettable time for all.
See you guys tomorrow.
But you forgot the homework.
World War Weeb, the Spanish invasion. Hello again, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Hi, sincerely Sinclair. Here I am once more to give you what you truly desire. A fake-ass Englishman and his cronies harassing fellow teens during a history class and beyond. Oh, high school, what a regrettable time for all.
See you guys tomorrow.
But you forgot the homework.
Amen to that. I'm pretty sure it hasn't changed that much. It sucked before I got there, and it sucked long after. Let's get the cast out of the way, and we can begin the third installment of this historical train wreck. OP, 14, female at the time, a weeb, a crybaby, and the new kid at school. Our neckbeard, that's Camelotbeard. Think of your usual neckbeard with a fetish for Japan, but instead, this kid was obsessed with England. He fully believed himself to be King Arthur, my fellow readers, and that the history class was his domain. Sir Galahad was a neckbeard in training who was definitely Camelot's sycophant, a toady if there ever was one. He was basically without a personality, and just kinda defaulted to agreeing with whatever Camelotbeard said or did. Cleo, beauty, brains, and brawn, a lover of stylish eye makeup, and a hater of neckbeards. Well, aren't we all? We can all lay claim to that last one. And introducing El Cid, the unofficial ruler of the Spain table, a kid who had had it up to here with Camelotbeard's bullshit. We've also got Isabella, that's El Cid's older sister, who sometimes ran the Spain table, cool, reserved, and an enjoyer of neckbeard suffering. Again, I think we all claim that last one. I'm curious about her being the older sister, and yet they're both in the same history class. How does that work? She got held back or something? Santayana, El Cid's best friend and a wannabe historian. Miguel, one hell of a writer and a certified meme lord. God bless, my editor, also a meme lord.
Oh shit! You mind if I praise the Lord?
Catherine is Camelotbeard's former target / prey, and she barely escaped his neckbeardy clutches. Oh, we'd always hoped better for you, Lady Catherine. That's more than a dodged bullet. That is a dodged missile. Well done. Let me just start off this chapter by stating that libraries are a sanctuary. Yeah, they are. When I was living in my car, I went to the library all the time. I used to shower in the sink. Oh, you're talking about something different. Okay, never mind. Wind it back. They are a staple in your local community and in need of more funding. Hell yeah. Please support your libraries, people. The library in my school was such a sanctuary, especially in those later years when it came to filling out college applications and trying to navigate the sea of scholarships. Make friends with your librarians, folks. There's a pro tip, but I'm getting a little off track here. No, I think this is a good track to go off on, OP. Libraries are in desperate need of more funding. I don't think that they would have let me shower at the school library. They would have been like, what's a 25-year-old man doing in here? Get out! You're scaring the kids.
Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying.
Please, I just gotta wash my armpits. It's hard living in a car. Anyways, I like to hang out in the library to study, and because I struggled in math most of the year, I really needed to buckle down to do my best. Samesies, math is hard. The main reason I dropped out of college is because I failed the most basic math class that they had, and I felt really dumb. Like, oh, college, maybe that's not for me. And luckily, it worked out okay. Anyways, but my math teacher that year was not someone that you could go to for extra help. That's a bad teacher. So the library was the best place to go after school. The librarian would bring out snacks and water for the students, and if you were feeling bad or stressed, he would let you throw a rubber ball in the back room to work out some aggression. That's going above and beyond for that librarian. I'll say that. He was a cool dude. In the library, I had a favorite spot, near the back room and next to where the manga was. It was a nice treat to be able to grab whichever chapter of Naruto I wanted to revisit between problems. The Chunin exam arc is the best arc, but I'll give praise for the Land of Waves arc too. I know I probably fucked up saying Chunin. I got so much flack for saying Hokage instead of Hokage.
I'm gonna be the next Hokage.
But it's a made-up word, so I don't know. Does that even really count? But yeah, that little corner of the library was mine, and mine alone. For a standalone country, I thought that I was safe, until one terrible day. Let me tell you this, no man is an island, no matter how bad we want to be. I heard the doors of the library open, and gave a curious glance upward. I was expecting Cleo. What I got was a neckbeard. 2 of them even. Camelotbeard entered with Sir Galahad close behind him. Camelotbeard surveyed the foreign land of the library with a discriminating eye. This is English land now. What'd I say about colonizers? I had never seen him in here before, but I foolishly allowed myself to believe that he was just here to study too. Unfortunately, when he set eyes on me, he went straight to my table.
Hello, m'lady.
Camelotbeard wheezed. M'lady, Sir Galahad nodded, sticking close to Camelotbeard like he was his shadow or something. Hey, I tried to smile, but I felt uneasy. A sense of foreboding struck me deep. I had no idea what would happen in the next 30 minutes, but nothing could have prepared me for the stupidity that would follow. Camelotbeard and Sir Galahad sat down at my table. They flanked me on either side. Can I help you with something? kind of busy here. Oh boy. Neckbeard's violating the social contract right out of the gate. Here it comes. Math, Sir Galahad realized by the equations that I was trying to work out. Yeah, I sighed. I'm getting my ass kicked. My noble king is very smart at math. Sir Galahad motioned to Camelotbeard, who was rooting around in his backpack. My noble king. Bro, you sit at the same table in history class. This is so over the top. That's great. I tried not to show any exasperation. I was a little country trying to make friends. You had to be friendly to make friends. I'm getting help from Cleo. Are you in tutoring too? Camelotbeard helps me out. He's very smart, and it is my esteemed king's desire to help you as well. Oh, thank you for the offer, but no fucking thanks. I backed my chair up a little. I figured worst case scenario, I could back away and just run. Help me with what? Tea! Camelotbeard said with a flourish as he brought out several chipped teacups and a dozen tea bags and the saddest looking kettle and hot plate that I had ever seen. Where the hell had he been keeping all this stuff? Had he stolen Mary Poppins's bag? This is over the top. He really took his words last episode. He's like, I am gonna make you love tea. You might not love me, but you will love tea. It's so ridiculous.
Here's the motherfucking tea.
Where's he gonna plug all this crap in? Was there water in the kettle slushing around in his backpack? I have so many questions. What? My brain had stopped working. Between the math problems and the tea, I was not in the right state of mind. I really don't like tea.
It's all right, milady.
Camelotbeard patted my back.
I'm here to help you.
With the most inconsequential thing ever. Help me with tea? I'm good, thanks. I need help with math. Did you see Cleo in the hallway by any chance? Nobody's coming to save you, OP. I'm so sorry to let you know like this. At the mention of Cleo, Camelotbeard and Sir Galahad rolled their eyes.
I'm way smarter than her.
Cleo copies off Camelot's paper,
Sir Galahad supplied.
Camelotbeard is the smartest, most intelligent person in our grade.
Bro, take his dick out your mouth. What is the motivation here? I don't understand how you could be this gung-ho for another person. Like, you realize he's just human, right? Oh, really? I toyed with my pencil. Have you told any of our teachers about that?
Nah!
Camelotbeard laughed.
I want to see my enemies quiver when we take our finals.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it works.
Imagine them all failing because they can't do a basic reading exam.
Uh-huh. Well, it's been nice talking to you, but I gotta
stay for tea.
Sir Galahad practically begged. You can't force someone into a tea party, all right? Tea parties are about etiquette. This is not etiquette. I don't like tea.
You must like tea if you're ever gonna sit at my table,
Camelotbeard said, pushing his chair closer to mine. We were now practically cheek to cheek.
We all drink tea.
Sir Galahad insisted. I'm just getting like Mad Hatter Tea Party vibes. Sir Galahad stands up, he's like, change places!
Change places!
This is too ridiculous, dude. In the middle of the library, they're just gonna have their little tea party. You're fucking killing me, OP. It was starting to feel a lot more like they were drinking the Kool-Aid. I don't drink tea, I insisted.
Why not?
Camelotbeard asked. Because I don't.
How do you know you don't like it if you don't try it?
What are you, my fucking mom trying to get me to eat my peas? Get out of here. Leave my table and leave me alone. I raised my voice, but it was nowhere near as strong as it needed to be to fend off the attacks of Camelotbeard and Sir Galahad. Yeah, you gotta channel your banshee powers for that. I was stressed from math and completely unprepared for this unprovoked attack from the UK table. I could feel tears starting to sting my eyes. Oh no, I was gonna cry. Damn the torpedoes! Full speed ahead! I was going to cry! Before the first tear ever fell, a new challenge to the tea boycott stepped forward from the depths of the library. His footsteps thundered. The makeshift tea station quivered. Camelotbeard and Sir Galahad looked ready to piss themselves, and I somehow managed to discreetly hide my distress. From the furthest depths of the library, he emerged. His name? El Cid. I'm gonna go ahead and presume that El Cid is a hero. Please let him be a hero. El Cid had broad shoulders, dark brown eyes, and an overall demeanor that gave me the vibe that he was about 2 seconds away from yeeting someone into oncoming traffic.
He is the prince of the land of fire.
El Cid was not someone to whom I spoke to. He never really wore anything but the same type of black or gray shirts with his signature green army jacket. Yeah, he needs the army jacket to push back the Muslims during the Reconquista. That's the history of El Cid. He didn't get excited at Pokemon or mentioned liking anime. He was just very quiet and kept to himself. But he was a warrior. And now that he was in front of us, one could not help but notice the very murderous glare that was in his eyes.
This is a library,
El Cid growled.
Libraries should be quiet. You,
he pointed an accusatory finger at Camelotbeard,
are not being quiet. Why is that? But my lady needed help,
Camelotbeard declared. Needed help loving tea. God, tea is gross, dude. I don't blame OP at all. It's bitter. How can you like a bitter drink? You might as well eat acorns straight off the ground or something. What was that sound? Oh yes, it was the sound of a bus running over me, and the bus was named El Cid. Fuck you, Camelotbeard, and your shitty tea. El Cid looked at me, and then the two flanking me, and then the tea set in front of us.
Is this true?
I'm just trying to pass math. I pathetically mumbled. See? A look of pity crossed El Cid's face. He was having the same trouble too.
I'm working on my English homework right now,
El Cid began slowly.
But I know how to do a few of those. Come with me. We'll work on them together.
When he said, come with me, it was more of a command than an overall suggestion, but hey, I'm not gonna turn down help. I mean, actual help. I shoved my stuff into my backpack and hastily made my way over to El Cid's table. As for Camelotbeard and his devoted shadow, they decided there was no sense in pissing off El Cid any further and left the library without much fuss. Oh, tea time's over already? Once they were out of sight, El Cid's icy demeanor melted away, and he had to stifle his laughter.
Fucking idiots.
Motherfucker. He had played us. He played us all for fools. I suddenly had no idea who El Cid was, but now I was sure that he wouldn't actually murder me or anyone in the surrounding area. Yeah, especially now that Camelotbeard had left. I do still hope that he values the sanctity and quiet of a library, because that's the only thing that separates us from the animals, honestly. I mean, that and clothes and washing our ass. Okay, there's a lot that separates us from the animals. I thought you were so pissed off at us, I sighed in relief.
I was,
The now sunny ray that was El Cid spoke. I'm failing English, and that pissant likes to come gallivanting around like he's frickin' King Arthur. Class is already hard enough without him raising his hand, trying to suck us all into his fucking fetish. El Cid buried his face into his hands. You know, he brought a couple of coconuts and had Sir Galahad clamp them behind him, like Monty Python. Dude was trying to look like he was riding an imaginary horse, or some stupid shit like that. He's not Chapman. He can't do it. That's so hilarious. I will say this, that the kids got at least some taste. I mean, everybody knows about Monty Python and stuff. Make a reference to Life of Brian, and then we'll talk. But yeah, just knowing that, Camelotbeard suddenly gains 2 points of respect. He's still negative 5,998 in the hole, but there's still time to climb out, isn't there? Has he always been like this? Yeah, El Cid nodded. Since first grade. It was more manageable back then, though. Once we got into Miss G's classroom, game over. Look, OP, you should stay away from Camelotbeard. He's not someone that you want to hang around with. It's not like we're friends. He just finds me. Yeah, that's probably Sir Galahad. Sneaky fucking bastard. He's got everyone's schedules memorized. Wait, what? It's kind of his thing, El Cid shrugged. He likes knowing where people are. That is creepy as hell. There was a lot to unpack with this fresh knowledge that Camelotbeard's shadow knew all of my day-to-day movements. Yeah, that's a lot. El Cid saw this and quickly added, he doesn't do anything. He just likes knowing where people are. It's handy if you need to find someone. Dude's like a little mini radar, but hey, you know what? You should sit over at the Spain table for a couple of days. Jackass won't try anything with me around. You sure? I totally believed that the Spain table would be a safe haven from the menace that was the UK table, and I needed to move on and try some new things anyways. And wasn't the Spain table like the funny table? At least that's the vibe I was getting in the first story. I'm not necessarily partial to Spain as a country, nor is my wife, considering their relationship with the Philippines, but it seems like that is the table where the clowns gather, and I would like to be a part of that. El Cid said, it's cool. If you ever need an escape from Camelotbeard, come find me or Joan or... El Cid pondered the list of people who would be more than happy to take up arms against the terror that was Camelotbeard. Franz too, I guess. Franz? Yeah, he's over in Austria, and he runs the student government. He does the daily announcement. Oh, yeah, I realized. Franz was a plain baby-faced student who was soft-spoken and was a rather prolific doodler. He's in my math class as well. He's good to talk to if you need help in math and Cleo's not available. We hang out on the weekends. Now, are you any good at essay analysis? El Cid pushed the latest English assignment towards me. I am, actually. And in the uphill battle against the English beards and homework, a new friendship was struck, and the sunny shores of Spain welcomed me. The next class period, I bid Cleo a fond farewell. I will see you again, she tried to remain stoic. You will, I nodded determinedly. This, I swear. It really is so dramatic, like you're parting for a different country. I realize the writing style is probably over-dramatized, but I really like that. If you couldn't tell, I'm sort of an overly dramatic person as it is. As for the war against the beards, I mean... they seem to be losing pretty hard. I don't think they have any allies in this class, aside from each other. And yeah, I said that we'd see each other again mainly because we had a class next period together. But it didn't make the separation any easier. Who was going to show me bad MUAs now during class, or listen to my rambling on why Rock Lee would have made a more compelling main character than Naruto? Seriously, props to Cleo for listening to said rambles. As I gathered my things, I was given a departing gift from Cleo, a small, neutral eyeshadow palette. Like the flower before it, its new home was in the binder. Once more, I made my journey across the classroom, but this time I passed by the UK table. It was dangerous water. I was liable to suffer from an ambush. I skirted the enemy's shores. Camelotbeard's eyes never stopped following me until I finally reached safe haven at the Spain table. One carefully placed glare from El Cid was enough to deter Camelotbeard from doing or saying anything.
Welcome to Spain, El Cid grinned. Meet Isabel, my sister, Catherine, Miguel, and that's my bro, Santillana.
Hi, I gave a little wave. Thanks for letting me sit with you guys. We heard about Camelotbeard, Isabel spoke. It's no problem.
He's an asshole,
commented Miguel. I'm sorry that he's targeted you too. Catherine truly looked sorry. He did it to me last semester. He thought I would be the Aragon to his Henry. Oof, was all that I said. You can't really say much more than that. That is a big oof moment. How did you get him to stop? Joan and Louis. Catherine nodded over to the French table. They're his cousins. Oh, the plot thickens. I turned my head to the French table so fast that I thought my neck might snap. The most notable members of the esteemed French table were Descartes, Joan, and, of course, at the head of the table was Louis. Yes, it is Louis, not Louis. I just remembered it was the French table. Louis was a svelte kid with thick, black, curly hair, a small nose, and a rather charming gap between his front teeth. Joan was of the same build as Louis, but her hair was in a nice, neat ponytail. She wore thick eyeliner, an Invader Zim t-shirt. Oh, those were the days. God damn, bring Invader Zim back. That's a tangent. And she carried around a notebook with a lot of skulls doodled on the front. Descartes had messy brown hair, bright brown eyes, and always looked like he just rolled out of bed. I sleep, therefore I am. Pajama pants and sweatpants were his best friend. Oh, this is like the YouTuber uniform. That's basically all I wear these days. I'm a mess behind the microphone. I looked at Joan and Louis, and then to Camelotbeard. I ran every genetic Punnett square in my mind, and I could not come up with how they could possibly be related. Seriously? They're related? I couldn't see it. Cousins, Miguel explained. Why else do you think we have a French table? 'Cause it's a cool country? I had naturally assumed. Any country that cooks with a lot of butter has some sort of genetic relationship to beards. That's my theory, at the very least. True, Isabel nodded. And because Joan and Louis can't stand Camelotbeard. I mean, would you, if you were related to him? We go to school with him, but they have to see him during holidays and family functions and birthdays, Catherine pointed out. The whole 100 years war shit between Joan and Camelotbeard suddenly made a lot more sense. She wasn't just saying things to piss him off, she was going in for the kill. I now had a newfound respect for Joan. I hoped that an alliance would be developed as one had been for Japan, Egypt, and Spain. With any luck, we could all become friends. But alas, by moving from Egypt to Spain, I had broken some unspoken treaties, and it would push me ever closer to the UK table. Oh my God! What happened? I thought this was all okay. Somebody tell Miss G! She's supposed to be in charge of this mess. She's letting World War Weeb happen right under her watch. Would I ever escape the near clutches of Camelotbeard? Would I ever find a table that I truly belong to? Would Spain ever want to trade Pokemon cards again? Because I wanted that new Charizard holographic card so badly, and I had a gut feeling that Santillana was holding out on me. Absolutely beautiful tale as always. I gotta be a little interested about these treaties that are going on. I don't know if I understand the whole dynamic between each and every table. Seemed to me like everybody hates the UK, but apparently there are some holdouts. Some people that have some sympathy for those UK beards, or God forbid, might even be absolute friends, 100% friends with those UK beards. It'll surely be an interesting thing to watch all of this unfold. And the way that it is written, so dramatic, so beautiful. It's like you get the references to warring nations and all this stuff. And then there's also mentions of Pokemon cards to remind you that, oh yeah, this is just a fucking middle school class. And I love the dichotomy there, because aren't all warring nations basically just angsty middle schoolers? Just let me pine like a tree. I want to be a tree.
I'm the Lorax. I speak for the trees.
World War Weeb. International relationships. Hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Hello, user Sincerely Sinclair. Welcome back. I'm so glad to see you, like, for real. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't want to bug you in the DMs, but I was missing this story for sure. My deepest apologies for not updating. Midterms and finals came and just basically dragged me out. College. What a fun time. I mean, hopefully that degree is gonna enhance your life in some way, you know? Just make a pact with yourself and with me right now that you're not gonna let it go to waste. Don't ever settle for less than. Anyways, now I'm done. Hey! And I'm free for the next few days, so this tale of neckbeard woe will finally get an update. Praise hallelujah. So let us begin and dive once more into the depths of a fake Englishman and his cronies harassing fellow teenagers during history class and beyond. That ain't good. Nobody likes this. So far, it's basically just been the beard harassing OP to drink some tea, and then the comment section blowing up about good types of tea that I might like, because I stated in the video that I don't like tea. But before we get to any of that, let's get to the cast list. We got OP, 14 female at this time, a weeb, a crybaby, and the new kid at school, the neckbeard, aka Camelotbeard. Think of your usual neckbeard with a fetish for Japan, but this kid was instead obsessed with England. He fully believed himself to be King Arthur, my fellow readers, and that the history class was his domain. He was out of class today, though, due to being sick. The king can't get sick. You can't let the people know that. There might be an uprising of the peasants. That's basic. Sir Galahad, aka Sir Not Appearing in Class Due to Family Issues, is a neckbeard in training who was Camelot's sycophant. He was born without a personality. Tragic condition that. Sounds to me like it's gonna be a slow day in Beard World. We're missing both of our beards. What's going on here? Cleo, my best friend, she's got beauty, she's got grace, and she wants to punch Camelotbeard in the face. I like that. That rhymes.
Nice rhymes, man.
El Cid is the unofficial ruler of the Spain table, and he has had it up to here with Camelotbeard's bull. Isabella is El Cid's older sister, who sometimes ran the Spain table. Cool, reserved, and an enjoyer of Neckbeard's suffering. Aren't we all? It wouldn't surprise me if she's on this subreddit, laughing at the Neckbeards. Isabel and Sid are non-fraternal twins. Oh, well that answers the question that I had in the last video about how they're in the same class if they're siblings. I think I also got lambasted in the comments a little bit, but I never claimed to be a smart man, alright? Isabella was born first, and so El Cid was born, obviously, second. Sorry for the confusion, it slipped my mind. Well, it also has something to do with the fact that I record these at 4 a.m. and never do a second take on principle, so sometimes dumb shit slips in there. I don't know what you want. Like I just said a bad word for no reason at all, and YouTube's gonna ding me for it. They're counting, okay? let's try to avoid it for the next 2 minutes or so. Anyways, let's go! Spending time at the Spain table was a blessing. And I say that because of 3 things. They were the class clowns, they were all chill as hell, and best of all, El Cid's looming presence kept Camelotbeard well away from me. Well, it sounds like you found a home. This didn't stop him from eyeing me in class, though. I could feel his gaze drilling into the back of my head. No amount of Pokemon card trading or discussing the finer points of Death Note. I cringed at this part. We thought we were so philosophical. I mean, you're 14, yeah. It takes a while to catch up and realize that everybody has had that exact same original thought. Whether they read it online or came up with it for themselves. So yeah, discussing these things with Miguel could have made things better. I stayed close to El Cid. If I wasn't hanging out with him, I stayed with large groups of people. Because yes, there was safety in numbers. Unfortunately, as many people are apt to do, whenever 2 people spend a great deal of time together, it's kinda just automatically assumed that they're interested in one another and are now dating. By public decree, you are now dating. I've had it happen. It's really awkward. You have to explain it to everybody. Oh, she's not your girlfriend? You guys are together all the time. Like, yeah, can't we just be together all the time? Does it have to have that element to it? And that's one thing that doesn't get any better after high school. Ugh. Anyways, one Monday, I went into gym class and was informed by Cleo that I was in a relationship with El Cid. But I'm not, I protested as we ran around the gym. Running laps was more like a casual walk. Our coach was old school, but he was a lazy guy who believed in making students do some sort of activity rather than an organized game or stretches or anything. Yeah, that's a gym teacher that 100% does not care. He's like, I don't know, go walk around the track. I'm gonna go have a cigarette in the parking lot. That's the kind of gym teacher I would be.
Teacher, he doesn't have a pencil.
I don't give a fuck.
Cleo and I chose to walk. Sometimes we would get competitive, and it would turn into a running contest between Cleo and I, but for now, it was a walk. All you need to say is 1, 2, 3, go, and it instantly changes into a race. Isn't that interesting? That's not what everyone else thinks, she said, picking up the pace. I don't even like him like that. I stopped myself short. Declaring my affection for Lancelot in the middle of class was definitely not in my best interests. Yeah, keep that one under your hat. Lancelot's gonna get kicked out of the round table if King Arthur finds out. Yes, Cleo laughed, seeing how hard I blushed. Nothing, I quickly muttered. Oh man, it takes me right back to high school, I tell you. It was an awkward kind of hell, but it was also fun in its way. I think maybe that's nostalgia talking, though. I found my untied shoelaces more fascinating than discussing my crush. I hadn't spoken to Lancelot since I came to school. I didn't know how to approach him, and because he was at the UK table and therefore close to Camelotbeard, I could not develop a battle plan to invade and ask my target out. Oh, here's where the sick day comes in. I see what you plan, OP. That's a good one. That's a good one. You bided your time. You know, romance only happens if you tell the other person that you like them, right? I know, OP said. So, tell him, Cleo urged. No. OP, you can't expect him to make the first move if he doesn't even know that you're interested in him. He's a sweet guy. Do it. Wait, does she know who you're talking about, like, automatically? Maybe it's, like, super obvious or something like that. But yes, I would say 9 out of 10, 99 out of 100, you have to tell a guy that you are interested because we don't pick up on signals like that. It's just like, oh, cool, we're hanging out. Cool, we're talking about stuff often. But unless you make the statement, there's generally no presumption of romance, at least for myself. Maybe I'm just blind. I don't know. Maybe other dudes pick up on it. But from what I've seen, you're going to have to tell him. No, I can't tell him, I whined. Can't I just admire him from afar? Like, This isn't an anime. Cleo slapped her forehead. You can't be all, notice me, senpai. Longing from afar is for cowards, and pining is for trees. Yeah, she's Cleopatra, all right. You've got to be the one to take charge. Now, go up to that guy, look him dead in the eyes, and tell him, Franz, we're dating now. Franz? My love-struck brain stopped working. The guy from math class? No, I don't like him. Wait, what? Cleo pouted. I thought that you did. Oh, assuming, you know what they say. Makes the ass out of you and Ming. No, I mean, I like him. He's okay, but I don't like him. We don't talk much. Oh, now it was Cleo's turn to blush. So, who do you like? I like Lancelot, I admitted, my little heart going doki doki. He's cool. She made a face at me. He's sitting at the UK table. Ugh, how cool could he be? Cleo, please, I practically begged her. I can't do it. Just let me pine like a tree. I want to be a tree.
I'm the Lorax. I speak for the trees.
Fine, she relented. You know, if you're ever nervous about dating or whatever, we could do a double date to make it a little easier. That's always a good offer. Take some of the tensions off just, you know, you and the other person 100% out. But in high school, yeah, it's basically exclusively double dating. OP says, I didn't even know you had a boyfriend. I felt awful. Here was my best friend enjoying life, and I hadn't kept up with this new romantic development. I don't. But I can, and I will if you need help dating Lance. She's a user. She's just gonna take this poor high school boy out on a date and then drop him like a sack of potatoes because her friend needs company. Oh, Cleo, that's nasty. You shouldn't do that. Maybe she does have somebody she likes, but you see where my brain runs off to. Anyways, damn. I wish I had her self-confidence. I hugged her and said, thank you. Friends like Cleo honestly were rare, and few and far in between, and I would need her strength soon enough. History class was divided into nations that we, the students, got to pick. We were mostly friends. We cared for one another and shared in the slings and arrows of high school. But all that it would take to cause an international incident was one misstep in developing relationships. Yeah, it's kind of just like the real world. Everything is really tenuous. Imagine if the United States just started dating North Korea out of nowhere. That's a catastrophe. Just waiting to happen. And yeah, people did stupid things when they were in love. And if you add in the already wrapped up identities of nations that the class had now embraced, and things were going to get much, much worse. For as the rumors swirled, Camelotbeard's rage grew. And he wasn't the only one. Yeah, because, like, you know, he's the king, so he could bed down a milady on her wedding night, you know? That's the king's right. At least I read in a book somewhere. Maybe it was not the kind of book that I should be reading. But history class was something else that day. The rumor had, of course, made its rounds throughout the class, despite my protests, and this was not helped by El Cid and I walking into class together. The second we stepped in, everybody knew. El Cid motioned for me to follow him to the table. Sitting down, the classroom no longer felt welcoming. We were on trial, and the class was our judge, jury, and executioner. Jury and executioner. So, Catherine grinned. You and were not, I once more protested. I believe it, Isabella nodded. No offense, but I can't really see you two together. Thank you, OP says. Yeah, I wouldn't date you. El Cid shrugged. Isabella, Miguel, Catherine, and Santiana looked at him in sheer disbelief. It took him a moment to realize the impact of his words. I mean, yeah, like, you're dateable. People like you. Guys help. He has a thing for Joan, Isabella explained. She shot him down flat, Miguel sighed. It was bad, Catherine cringed. The Hindenburg going down was less of a disaster than that, Santayana laughed. It wasn't that bad, Sid defended himself, crossing his arms. Did I come on a little strong? Maybe. Yeah, but I got back up again. Doesn't that count for anything? Not in a relationship, my friend. Everything else in life, but not relationships. You get one shot, and once the shot is done, if you miss, you're screwed. Maybe you could try asking her out again, I asked. El Cid shook his head. She doesn't want to date anyone, he moped. Alas, El Cid's broken heart were the least of my problems. History class was tense. But the second I stepped out and into the hall, I was ambushed. Not by the nefarious and odious fake king of the castle, Camelotbeard, but instead by Franz from the Austrian table. Hey, LP, he's suddenly by my side. I hadn't heard him coming, nor did I see him at all. What's up, Franz? I had a question for you, and I wanted an answer. My stomach did a backflip. Yeah? So, I heard that you and El Cid were dating. Is that true? I don't think this is Austrian. It's like more German. Is it kind of the same? I guess. They're neighbors. Whatever. Franz was straightforward and to the point. I appreciated it, but at the time, I was uneasy. We are not, I replied. Oh, great. Oh, he has eyes for her as well. This big old love triangle is going on. I think that's like 80% of high school. It's just love triangles. Other 20% is like bad lunch. And the last 2% is infidelity. Because you always got to give 102% of high school. I guess, whatever. Franz grinned, and he gave a thumbs up to someone who had been walking in front of me. I turned my head as fast as I could, and there I saw her. Gwen. She turned away and pretended not to see me. You and Sid? Gwen glared at me as she sped down the hall. Oh, the UK table and the Spain table's mixing. Lady Guinevere, how could you do this? Gwen glared at me as she speed walked down the hall. I caught up with her while Franz was hot on my heels. Wait, I don't mean it like that. It's just, I don't know. I never knew. That's 'cause it's a secret. She glared at Franz. Emphasis on secret, Franz. I was discreet. A thumbs up is not discreet, Gwen hissed and rubbed her face in disgrace. Heh, that rhymes. Super facepalm time. Wow, we're rhyming everywhere. That holiday song thing has really caught on to me. So, you like El Cid, huh? Yes, she admitted. And then I heard you two were dating, and I wanted to, I don't know, I just needed to know if I was wasting my time. I really do like him, OP. He's cute, and I thought you were dating Camelotbeard, I asked. Why would you think that? More assumptions. Uh-oh. I mean, I don't know. You were just always together, and never mind. I had fallen for the same fallacy as everyone else. I had no leg to stand on. Are you gonna ask him out? Gwen looked at me like I was a complete dumbass, which, at that age, to be fair, I was. Ah, the field of landmines that was love, or puppy love. What a perilous journey! Here we were, two idiots pining and too scared to take the next step forward. I decided that since I was a dumbass, I might as well leap forward into the landmines. Yeah, clear the way for everybody else. Make the ultimate sacrifice. I like Lance, I confessed. Why? Franz asked. Nobody's talking to you, Franz. Get out of here. I think he's cool. But that's not the point. You like Sid and I like Lance. So, God, I was a dumbass. I was an idiot, but this was all gonna be worth it, as long as I kept my defenses up and never wavered in the face of Camelotbeard. I'll make you a deal. Trade me places, I'll go to the UK, you head off to Spain, and I'll smooth it all over with Miss G. You would do that for me? Her lower lip wobbled and her eyes became teary. Camelotbeard is, well, he could be a lot to handle. Are you gonna be okay? I don't know. My heart was racing. But let's find out, I guess. Yes, I say it again. I was stupid. But tell that to my heart, which was going doki doki. I made the decision to leave Spain and travel to the UK. Was this a good idea? No. Was this something that I would regret? Yes. Was it worth the growing pains? Also yes. This wasn't going to be a grand adventure. No. This was going to be a not-so-stealthy operation that would put me directly in the line of fire with Camelotbeard.
All I need is a queen. If she breathes, she's a thought!
World War Weeb. Love is a battlefield. I think it's a Pat Benatar song. I can't remember how it goes.
Love is a battlefield.
Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Mavadies and gentle-thems, as it were. And welcome back, user Sincerely Sinclair. I've been waiting. I've been looking forward to this. I'm glad to see it. So, who is ready for a journey to the UK? Ooh, pick me. Let us begin and dive once more into the depths of a fake-ass Englishman and his cronies harassing fellow teens during history class and beyond. Sounds like dude is living rent-free in your head. Don't let it happen. You just, once class is over, put him out of your mind. Ain't no reason to think about him. First, we'll get to the cast, though. Of course, we've got OP, 14 female at this time, a weeb, a crybaby, and the new kid at school. Neckbeard is Camelotbeard. Think of your usual Neckbeard, who has a huge fetish for Japan, but this kid in particular was obsessed with England. He fully believed himself to be King Arthur, my fellow readers, and that the history class was his domain. Yeah, it's small, but it's ours, isn't it? Why don't you pull the sword out of the stone, and then maybe we can talk about it. That's the only thing that's gonna make me follow your leadership. But you ain't buff enough. We've also got Sir Lancelot, the coolest kid at the UK table, although that seems to be a pretty low bar. A skateboarder, a chill dude, and my school crush. He made my little heart go doki doki. It was my plan to become friends with him and hopefully turn that into a relationship. Yeah, that's usually how it starts, isn't it? Franz is the leader of the Austria table, president of the Student Government Association, the smart kid. He liked plants and he was an all-around good guy. We didn't talk or hang out much, but Franz was the kid who could go between the tables and everyone was basically cool with him. He liked plants? We're really reaching for a personality trait, aren't we? I mean, I guess that's cool. My wifey likes plants, but I don't really know if that's enough to tell me very much about him. I guess he's a good guy. Okay, that's fine. He's got the German voice, I think, because Austria is next to Germany, is it not? In all of history, there have been fantastic tales of love and tragedy, of battles won and lost, but in the hollowed halls of our high school, never was there such a love as a pining idiot such as myself and my crush, Lancelot, who was totally unaware that I had feelings to begin with. Cleo had been right, as she was quite apt to do. If you wanted to succeed in love, then you needed to make the first move. I was going to travel to the UK table and make that move. This was for love. This was war. And to win in love and war, you need to have a plan. Yeah, love never changes, or something like that. The first strike, that's the most important thing. I don't think you necessarily need to upset your entire social situation. Just send a note or something like, hey, do you like me, before I go over and hang out with a weird neckbeard guy? But then I guess that's not like opening it up as friends. Yeah, I'm so confused. I'm still bad at love. I'm old as hell. Don't listen to me. So my plan was to spend the entire weekend learning everything I could about skateboard culture and lingo so I could talk to Lance and hold a conversation. Oh, that is such a high school scheme, isn't it? He likes skateboards. Maybe if I pretend to like skateboards and say stuff like, gnarly, bro, you totally beefed it. Woogity woogity. Just watching like every episode of Rocket Power. The squid beefed it. God damn it, dude. So my clothes were a Tony Hawk graphic tee and brand new red Converse high tops and the brand new jeans that were ripped as it was the style at the time. Oh, this is so classic, man. Somewhere in the depths of my closet, that Tony Hawk t-shirt is still rotting away, as it should, honestly. But back in the day, it might have been a bit on the nose. Admittedly, it was, in my humble and love-struck opinion, a decent way to start a conversation. Yeah, I guess, even though you've never shown any signs of this before. I'm sure I'll go along for the ride with you. Because it was through conversation that a friendship would be struck up. And then, through a friendship, then it would be hanging out. And then, through hanging out, it would be dating. Solid plan. 10 out of 10. This is the best idea I've ever had. There's a lot of stages. There's a lot of things that could go wrong here. I would just stick with the note. Ask him outright. The worst they could say is no. I think you gotta like waste your time beating around the bush like, hey, I really want to date you, but I'm hanging out in the friend zone because I want to date you. It's a really bad idea. Just be straight up. It's fine. This is a stupid idea, Cleo muttered. She's right. After gym, working on my eye makeup to aid in my war of love. Oh, she still assisted though. Although she pleads, please don't do this. OP says, I gotta do it. Pining is for the trees. Where did this gumption come from? Let me ask you that. Something was awakened in OP. She's ready for war. Cleo was not happy to have her words thrown back in her face. Oh, Cleo happened. Yeah, that's right. I know that, but why do you gotta do it in history class? Camelotbeard will be there. We don't have any other classes together. This is my only chance outside of lunch, and even if I were gonna try it there, I would still have to deal with Camelotbeard. I wasn't doing this on a whim. I can tell. This was planned rigorously. I would have the safety of the class to give me cover should the worst happen. Despite my sound logic, virtually everyone I knew came up to tell me how stupid this idea was. I mean, let people make their own mistakes, I guess. Don't do this, Elsid warned in English class. I've been where you've been. I like Joan and I got burned bad. You'll face Camelotbeard alone. I'm not alone, I said. I've got allies across the class. It's just written so much bigger than it is. That's probably the thing I like the most about this series. He takes something small and just extrapolate it. We're warring nations at this moment, son. Just classic. Always makes for a good story. So, yeah, that was true. Through my visits to Japan and Egypt and the Spain tables, I had gained numerous allies, all of whom were intent on telling me how stupid my plan was. You know that you have true friends when everyone warns you of how dumb your plan is, and you know that you're stupidly love-struck when you ignore every last warning. OP, Godspeed. I really don't think it's gonna work out well, but good on you for trying. You know, fortune favors the bold, as they say. Do not do this, my allies at the Japan table begged. Come back and sit with us, but just don't do it. He's a creep. I was touched, but I had to listen to my heart. Cleo stopped me on the way to class. She would not let it die. You can always come back to Egypt, Cleo vowed. And if he tries anything, just let me know. God, I guess this neckbeard really has built up a reputation. Maybe he's creepier than I thought. You'll have to wait after Sid, I replied, remembering how uncomfortable Sid had been with the idea of me moving to the UK table. I'm patient, Cleo shrugged. Stay safe, and may you survive your journey. I hoped that I would. I made a point of stopping at the Spain table and giving my fondest farewells. Thank you all for showing me kindness, helping me with homework, and sending me memes. You're good people. Yes, they brought a feast of olives and memes. Are olives Spanish? I'm pretty sure they are. OP, wait! Santillana grabbed my hand and slipped a small Pokemon card into it. Oh, your Charizard holo card, I gasped. Yana, I can't. Take it with you, and may you burn him as badly as a Charizard if he bugs you. You know what one of them's is worth nowadays? I don't either, but probably a lot, I think.
This card could go 30 to 40,000.
It was the sweetest sentiment that I had ever heard. Slipping the card into my binder, I set off. The journey across the classroom was a short one, but it was no less perilous than all of my other moves. The entire international community watched as I crossed every safety line and entered into the UK territory. Gwen met me halfway. Her eyes were bright and she sniffled. Thank you for doing this for me. Poor Lady Guinevere, she just wants her escape. And so, here it is. I wish I could say that I was doing this just for her, but honestly, this would maybe benefit us both. Have fun in Spain, I replied. Stay safe in the UK, she nodded, before departing for the warmth that was the Spain table. Yes, those friendly shores. I wasn't gone more than 2 minutes, and I already miss my friends. Would I ever see them again? Turn around. They're sitting right there. Would Gwyn be alright? She had now escaped the clutches of the UK table. I took a deep breath. It was time to try and keep calm and just carry on. This would be a defining moment in the history class, and I would become friends with Lance, come hell or high water, and maybe I would become something even more if I played it cool enough. Yeah, I bought the Converses, I bought the Tony Hawk t-shirts. What else do you need? I'm prepped for battle now. It's such a high school plan and I love it. I arrived at the barren UK table. Across the class, the entire international community watched for the moment when Camelotbeard would spot me, and if my mission was to be a success or a failure. A minute after the bell rang, I was sitting by myself when the classroom door opened. I was so hopeful to see Lance standing there, but my hope was matched by my disappointment when I saw that it was indeed the one and only Camelotbeard. Where on earth was Lance? Camelotbeard saw me sitting at his table. I was filled with a sense of dread. I knew deep down in my heart that this was an eventuality. Hello, OP. Camelotbeard grinned at me. Oh yeah, you gotta fight off the first wave. Here it comes. I was prepared for this moment. I knew it was coming. I dug deep into my soul and pulled out what would be my greatest asset in the oncoming years. It was a stare that was so inhuman and cold that it could send most people running for the hills. This stare would of course be sharpened with work in retail and dealing with stupid customers as I got older. But for now, it was but a fraction as powerful as it would eventually be. But the question is the stare sharp enough to drive Camelotbeard back? Perhaps not without the the honing that retail service provides. It's a really hard job. I don't ever want to go back and do retail. Bless you, OP. The eyeshadow that Cleo had lovingly applied to my face did aid in my glare. I was small, I was crushing, and I was not in the mood to deal with Camelotbeard's nonsense. Tragically, my glare was not enough to deter conversation completely. It stunned Camelotbeard, but he soon recovered and launched his attack.
Well, it looks like we'll be the only two today.
What do you mean? Dun dun dun! That's a really bad day to pick to move, OP. You should have waited just a little bit longer. Sir Galahad hadn't arrived. Gwyn was now over in Spain on a diplomatic mission. And Lance, where the hell was Lance? My battle strategy only worked if Lance was actually here. I didn't have much in the terms of defense or offense. This was a scouting mission. Intel only. Or so it was supposed to be.
Didn't you hear? Lance broke his arm over the weekend. He won't be in class. It's just you and me.
The intel has failed us all. The scouting mission is a failure. Abandon ship. Fall back. Retreat. Take cover. Hit the decks. Get the fuck out of town. Lance broke his arm? How? It was impossible.
I don't know, Camelotbeard shrugged. But look on the bright side. It's us. I've already got a plan for our final two. If you stay with me, then we're gonna get an A.
Camelotbeard glared. I pulled myself out of my grief, and there I saw him, Franz. He urgently darted to the table like he was escaping enemy attacks. Oh, please say the cavalry has arrived.
What are you doing here?
Camelotbeard sneered. OP lent me her English notes, Franz calmly explained, with a smile that could have brought out the sunshine during the fiercest storm. Thanks, OP. He then ran away before he took any fire from Camelotbeard. Well, that's not quite the cavalry I was hoping for, but good diversion tactic. I had not given my English notes to anyone, mainly because no one asked. Franz was smart. He didn't need my notes. He had given me his own, and his own secret message was written on the margins. It said, "Let me know if things get to be too much. I have a plan. Smiley face." I wondered what plan that Franz could have whipped up. He was a favorite of Miss G and practically every other teacher in the school. He did all of those extra student body functions that the school liked to put on and show off. He had some sway, but the extent of it remained unknown to me. I wasn't allowed more time to ponder, for Miss G had started class, and we were meant to get a start on our final projects. Is Franz really going to be the savior of the world? Austria? God, I didn't expect that at all. As for Camelotbeard's brilliant idea about the final project, he says,
we're doing lancing.
Like the medical stuff? And my mind immediately jumped to sickly UK and lancing boils and body parts that were on the brink of exploding. Yeah, that Dr. Pimple Popper type of stuff. I don't like it. It seems like ladies like it. An inordinate amount of women seem to enjoy watching that disgusting stuff. You show it to a guy, they will cringe until their spine fractures. You show it to a woman, they will also cringe, but also be morbidly fascinated by it. It's really interesting to me. Why pimple popping in particular? But I guess that's a tangent. Sorry.
No, I'm talking about a lancing tournament. Lancelot will be one knight, and Gwen's gonna be a fair lady, and Sir Galahad's gonna be the other knight, and I'll be the king.
Oh no. His poor head was gonna be bigger than Texas if he kept thinking that way. We would have to lance his head. Might be for the best. Then you'd be like, wow, this is empty. It looked a lot bigger than it is, but it's just empty in here. This is empty. Turns out it was just filled with hot air. We're gonna go on a balloon ride. Okay, that's cool, I said. And honestly, it was. The general idea that they would hold a very basic backyard type of lancing tournament where the lances would be made out of cardboard rolls. It would be up to the UK table to explain the rules of engagement and how chivalry played a large part in evolving into English culture of how a gentleman should act. On the surface, it was a solid idea. Very creative, I guess. But then, of course, we can never have nice things.
All I need is a queen. If she breathes, she's a thought!
And he looked directly at me. Franz? Where you at, buddy? I needed a way out. I needed a good comeback. I needed help. You'll need an advisor too, I replied. I'll do it.
I don't need an advisor. I'm plenty smart.
Yeah, I'm sure you think you are. This was a war that honestly I wasn't even interested in fighting. I was already losing the one that I actually wanted to win, so I made a desperate look to Franz and nodded. Operation Reverse Dynamo was a go. No one saw her coming. No one at all. With the grace and confidence that few ever possess, Joan from the France table strode across the classroom. She stood between me and Camelotbeard. A single eyebrow was raised as she assessed the situation. Joan grabbed a chair and then sat between me and my foe. Joan looked over at me once. "Sup?" she asked. Effortlessly calm and cool. From the France table, she has to be smoking a cigarette too, right?
This is what French people like. Look at me, I'm giving a cigarette to a baby. Life is shit. This is all life is worth.
It's from a Robin Williams special. God, that's so good.
Look, I'm giving a cigarette to a baby. Suck on this cigarette, my darling. Life is shit. Get to know this.
Camelotbeard would not stand nor sit at this most unwelcomed invasion.
Mrs. G,
he wailed.
France is invading my country.
Mrs. G looked up. She frowned when she saw Joan did indeed invade the UK. What's going on here? What happened next shook me to my core. Joan was cool, but she carried a distinct punk/emo look to her. There wasn't a day that went by that she wasn't doodling skulls or quoting Invader Zim, because that is the entirety of the punk/emo aesthetic when you're in high school, I suppose. Yet, when Miss G asked her a question, Joan replied in a voice that befitted a Disney princess. "The UK table is lancing for the project and I would like to help. We've already got our plan done and France does have the best lancers around." Camelotbeard protested.
The UK does.
And yes, indeed, before Operation Reverse Dynamo has even unfolded completely, I can say that it is a success. You've just undone your entire plan, Camelotbeard, by agreeing to let France into the final project. Maha! Franz is a pretty big brain boy, I do think. Puh, whatever. I'm here to help little cousin, she smiled. That's almost German, but okay. But there was a distinct sense of threat underneath what she said. Miss G was not a fan of anything that made people shout or scream in her classroom. She preferred it when we were all nice and quiet and we weren't threatening each other with international warfare or squabbles. You set this up, Miss G. You put all of this into motion. You got nobody to blame but yourself, honestly. But she saw that there were only 2 people at the UK table that day and decided that Joan could stay. Work nicely, she urged before returning to her grading. We will, I vowed. Joan smirked. Camelotbeard scowled. I was trying to think of a way to thank Franz for his quick thinking. He was a stand-up guy who honestly didn't have to help me out. Tragically, in times of war, it was always the good guys who would suffer the most at the hands of nice guys and neckbeards. You will always be remembered for your bravery, Franz. I salute you. We had an argument about starters, and he got mad and smashed my GameCube. World War Weeb. Crushed. Oh my god, you got crushed by a neckbeard? Say it ain't so! How could this be true? Basically, all he has to do is enter the same room and I am crushed up against the wall. I don't even know how we got in the room. It's like a jello mold fitting through the door or something. Hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Oh, hello user Sincerely Sinclair. How I missed that intro, honestly. It's a good one. Really only second to Mavadies and Gentle Thems. We return once more into the depths of World War Weeb and go further into the backstory of a true fake-ass Englishman. Yeah, he's been doing the thing forever. Why don't you just move to England, Camelotbeard? I think you'd be a lot happier there. God knows the rest of us would. Let's get into our cast before anything. OP! 14-year-old female, a weeb, a crybaby, and the new kid at school. I. What? Yes, I too sometimes. I think there was supposed to be something else there, but it got lost in the sauce, so alright, we'll just move on from that. Our neckbeard, aka Camelotbeard. Think of your usual neckbeard with a fetish for Japan, but this kid was obsessed with England. He fully believed himself to be King Arthur, my fellow readers, and that the history class was his domain. All this time, all these few months that we've been apart, he's still considered it his domain. Why has somebody not dethroned him? We need a coup of some sort, do we not? Make it happen. Sir Lancelot is the coolest kid at the UK table, a skateboarder, a chill dude, and my school crush. Made my little heart go doki doki. It was my plan to become friends with him and hopefully turn that into a relationship. I mean, that's better than what we see out of most people. They're like, let's start out with the relationship right now. And if you say no, I'm going to harass you to the ends of the earth. So good, OP. Thank you for being normal. Franz is the leader of the Austria table. President of the Student Government Association. The smart kid. Liked plants. And was an all-around good guy. Yeah, you smoke trees, Franz? Oh, you mean like literally like a ficus. Okay, maybe we don't relate as much as I thought. We didn't talk or hang out very much, but Franz was the kid who could go between the tables, and everybody was cool with him. Well, I'm cool with that. You need a go-between. I bet he's going out there picking up on all the gossip. Maybe he's smarter than he seems even at first. Not just school smart, but street smart too, you know? And then he's like using the gossip against everybody. No, that's probably not how it goes. He seems like a nice guy in the previous stories, if you don't remember. Oh yeah, playlist is in the description. We do have a playlist for this one. Joan is Camelotbeard's cousin, and chill as all get out. slayer of neckbeards, defender of truth, justice, and she works at the school store. Hell yeah, free erasers or something. Can we buy like chips? Is that what the school store is? Chips and candy bars? Or is it like literally school supplies? I'm not too sure. One has me quite interested. The other I would avoid at all costs. I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll see how it ties into the story. Anyways, back to the story. Lunch was a welcomed reprieve from the disastrous plan of attack that was my attempt to woo Lance of the UK table. I had planned for everything except him being absent. Oh snap, how could this happen? People taking days off from school? What is this madness? You're truant, you're gonna go to jail. That's what they told me when I started skipping school all the time. This is why you always gotta confirm your target's presence before attacking. Intel is vital. Well, you did your best. Just wait for the next day that he's at school. OP is gonna be fine, probably. And as a love-struck fool, I hadn't gotten good intel, and I had paid dearly for it. For the rest of the class period, I had to listen to the venomous jabs between Joan and Camelotbeard. Their family warfare was vicious. No, let them fight. Surely they'll tear each other apart. Surely Camelotbeard doesn't have what it takes to do away with Joan of Arc, right? He seems a bit dim-witted, all things considered. But, I don't know. Maybe he's snarkier than we give him credit for. While I was thankful for Joan and for Franz calling in reinforcements, I feared that the cousins would come to blows. And worse yet, I feared that I would get caught up in any punishment that Mrs. G would dream up. Mrs. G was the definition of a reasonable authority figure. She had her limits, and she did not tolerate physical fighting. Okay, but she encouraged verbal fighting between the tables, mental warfare, split a classroom up into gang colors, and she's like, you guys, don't fight. You can argue till the cows come home, but don't fight. Maybe this is just how she passes time in her class. She's like, if they're arguing with each other, then I don't actually have to teach the lesson. And if that's the case, big brain play, Mrs. G. Proud of you. Yes, you could cut your opponent down with words and torture them mentally until they were a shell of their former selves. But throwing a punch, oh, that's too far. I mean, what's worse, really? I'd rather get punched in the face than, like, berated mentally. Physical scars? Yeah, they heal. Mental scars? Some of that shit you're gonna carry around with you forever. There's still cringy things that I did or statements that were said to me when I was 16 that I still carry around decades later. At least a decade and a half later. I'm not that old. I'm not gonna say what it is, but I'm thinking of it right now, and it cuts me deep. I made it a priority to quietly shift my seat as far away from Camelotbeard and Joan as possible. At the end of class, I was practically back in Japan again. When the bell rang, I joined my compatriots at our table, where I was hailed as the survivor of the Operation Woo Skater Boy. SK8er. Yeah, that's the coolest way to spell it ever. That's what Avril Lavigne did. Except, you know, this dude was a skater boy. And he said, see you later, boy.
He was a skater boy, she said, see you later, boy.
God, I hate myself for that. Oh, no. You did your best. El Cid patted me on the back. Look on the bright side, Cleo supplied. This will give us a chance to redo your eye makeup. It will be better tomorrow, Guinevere comforted. Now you have Joan on your side. I did have Joan, and she was cool, but I also had another ally, Franz. I was raised with tenet that if someone does a solid for you, then you return the favor, as it should be. Franz had done me a solid. Joan never would have intervened if Franz hadn't organized the attack. Oh, big brain time. See, he is smarter than he looks. He's orchestrating coordinated attacks against other nations. My goodness. There was no need for Franz to risk an encounter with Camelotbeard for me, but he had, and that meant that I owed him one. I scanned the lunchroom for my newfound ally and found him in the corner, reading a book. I maneuvered through the rough waves of the cafeteria and walked up to Franz. Now we're in Austria. I always love how Sinclair tells the story like it's much bigger than it is. The comparison of classroom tables to nations is just, chef's kiss. Beautiful. Hey, I nodded. Hi, he grinned. So, thanks for the note in class. I'll buy you some ice cream, I offered. Thank you, but I can't have milk. It makes me sick. Boy, he is the nerdiest nerd with the lactose intolerance and everything. I guess I won't offer you any cheese then. Oh, shit. The cafeteria at the time didn't carry a lot of milk-free items. Could I buy you anything from the school store? Franz hummed thoughtfully. I did see that I had sunflower seeds again. Let's go. He's a simple man. He just wants a bag of sunflower seeds. I like Franz, honestly. I'll knock him for being nerdy, but hey, I'm pretty nerdy myself, so this is what it is. I offered Franz my hand to help him up, which he took, and we walked off to the school store that was near the library. I felt a little bit awkward walking with Franz in silence. I wanted to tell him more than thanks for giving me aid in the classroom. I opened my mouth to speak, shut my mouth, tried to think of what to say. Eventually, Franz did beat me to it. I'm sorry about Camelotbeard, he apologized. You're sorry? For what? You were really cool back there. Yes, but I know what it's like to try and move tables for someone you like. Uh-oh. Is Franz gonna unveil his love for OP? Oh, you do? I did the same thing for Joan, he explained. She's cool. Yeah, maybe that's why you guys didn't get on too well. She was cool, he's a nerd, he's a skater boy, said see you later. I'm gonna stop. She turned you down, huh? He let out a little lovelorn sigh. Yeah. I spent 3 weeks learning about her favorite fashion designers so we could have something to talk about. She's not interested in dating. I thought El Cid would be able to get a date with her after I failed, but... Franz shook his head. She's as steady as Gibraltar. When she says no, she means no. Well, at least you know that you weren't, like, shot down for no reason. She means no. She's not dating anybody right now. And that's a lot more respectable than being like, I don't want to go on a date with you, but I will go on a date with him. You know, either way, it is her choice, but I do like the fact that she's not taking any suitors at all. What about Lance? I asked. Does he like anyone? He likes Bones. Who the hell was Bones? You remember that show with David Boreanaz? I never watched it. It was too scary. It was called Bones, for God's sake. How was I ever gonna woo Lance if there was another opponent on the field that I had no idea even existed? Franz caught my confusion. Bones is the wheel brand that he likes. Oh, it's skateboard above hose over here, right? I guess that's how it should be, especially as a 14, 15-year-old. You don't really know what, like, love is. You just date and you hold hands and you think that's normal. I mean, not these kids nowadays, but when I was a kid, it was a more innocent time back then. Back before you could get Pornhub on your, whatever, iPad when your parents are asleep. Okay, cool. I nodded, taking in the information. I know you like Lance, but I do not think it would be best to stay at the UK table. The table isn't stable. Well, you could put like a magazine or something under one of the legs, right? You could stable it right up. No, but seriously, it is a powder keg. Camelotbeard is gonna explode it as he does. I couldn't tell if Franz meant that Camelotbeard as a leader was overall unstable, or the fact that one of the legs of the table was slightly shorter than the others and made the table wobble as a result. This called for more information. I guess I'm also confused on which one he means. I guess it doesn't really matter, because I don't want to deal with a neckbeard, and I don't want to deal with a wobbly table while I'm trying to write on it. That ain't no good. So OP asks, what do you mean? Camelotbeard is mean. Franz stated. Truer words had never been spoken. He didn't used to be mean, but he's gotten worse, Franz continued. Yeah? How much? When we were friends. You were friends with him? I gasped. Once upon a time, when things were very different, we were friends in passing. Not best friends forever. You couldn't do that with a neckbeard without becoming a beard yourself. Actually, Franz might be kind of beardy. He's like, you know, kind of social outcast, likes to read books and such. Sure, he can go between tables and whatnot, but he prefers to read books. That just has some nerdy vibes to it, right? Nerd and neckbeard, not necessarily the same thing, but it's close. The Venn diagram is overlapping a little bit. I couldn't see it. There was no possible way that friendly Franz could have been friends with someone similar to the likes of Camelotbeard. It just wasn't possible. But he's telling you that it is. Add that information to the collective. Our houses are next to each other and our moms are friends. When we were little, we played Pokemon together. He smiled but then frowned. I miss trading Pokemon with him. Oh, come on. You could probably still trade Pokemon with him if he still plays. But he's the sort of trainer that's going to try and rip you off in the deal. He's going to be like, look at this. Shiny Magikarp. 500 Poke. I'm like, shit. I'll pay 500 for a shiny. That's fine. And then he trades you a regular Magikarp. And I cry. What happened? We had an argument about starters, and he got mad and smashed my GameCube. Franz sighed in irritation. He threw it right out of the window! Bruh, what? How could you let that happen? Yeah, we ain't gonna be friends anymore. GameCube's like one of my favorite consoles ever. I mean, the Switch has kind of overtaken it now, but GameCube was sick as hell. What was the argument about starters? Because we all know that Squirtle's the best, right? Comments section.
Squirtle.
Yikes. Did he ever? No. Franz shook his head. He never apologized. When I asked him to, he said that kings do not apologize. And then he flipped me off. It seems to me like Camelotbeard has just been a dick this whole time. Franz and him were only friends because they live next door to each other. It's a case of like just proximity, convenience, which I guess is how a lot of friendships are formed. But I'm glad that Franz finally shook this dude off. I'm sad it took a GameCube getting thrown out the window though. How are you gonna play Custom Robo now? Oh, now they have emulators. I guess it's fine. What's up with the whole king thing? Anyways, like, I get King Arthur and stuff, but isn't this taking things a little far? Huh, maybe. Camelotbeard has always liked the whole King Arthur myth, and Joan has a low tolerance for him, so when he started acting like he was king of the school, Joan took up arms as the UK's greatest foe to annoy him. Then caused El Cid to have a crush on her. He decided to found the Spain table, and everyone at the Japan table has just been off doing their own thing, and when Cleo saw that everyone else was picking nations, she declared herself the Queen of Egypt. It just sort of escalated. So this was not done by the teacher? You guys are just really that into history? I'm so confused. Franz, I have a whole lot of questions about the mythos behind the story of this classroom. What the hell? That's my first question.
What the hell?
My first question is what the actual hell is going on here? I thought it was the teacher that had set it up, but it seems like they sort of adopted it themselves. It's really weird. It's really, really weird. Never take a peek behind the looking glass, all right? And what about you? Why Austria? My dad is from Austria, he smiled. We go and visit his side of the family every summer. Oh, that's why you have a terrible Austrian accent. Courtesy of ReddX. We finally made it to the school store, staffed by Joan, and Joan alone. Heh, that rhymes. She gave a small wave when she saw us and said, finally, I didn't think I would see anyone until the bell rang. You run the store? I'm doing it to show that, yes, I'm an ambitious young lady who would make a fine addition to Stanford. Joan rolled her eyes. My dad thinks this will help somehow. What do you guys want? I've got overpriced shit and tacky school pride stuff. I like Joan, man. She's a real one. I'll take some of your overpriced shit. Your finest bag of Doritos for $3. It's like the little 99-cent bag. And they're selling it for $3. This is price gouging. It has to be illegal. Do you have any sunflower seeds? Franz asked hopefully. Fresh out, but I saved you the last bag. Oh, with the fake out. Come on, Joan. You probably should have said, I saved you the last bag. But she wanted to juke him. Hey, I'm fresh out. Don't have any more. Except this one I saved for you. Hey, thanks. Cool thing to do, but dick way to announce it. Yes! Franz got his snack and I paid for it. Joan, do you want anything? My treat. No, I'll take what I want later. Yes, benefits of running the school store. Thanks, though. What's the occasion? Not getting bored to death by Camelotbeard? I nodded and Joan shook her head. I would be celebrating every day that I survived Camelotbeard. You guys are lucky that you don't have to spend every other weekend with him. I can only imagine during school hours together, on the weekend together. It's no wonder they want to beat the crap out of each other. Aren't they just cousins? They're not siblings, right? Why do we have to spend every other weekend together? And that's OP's question as well. Why on earth would you... Joan groans. His mom and dad think I'd be a good influence on him. I don't want to be responsible for him. It's not my fault he's shallow as a puddle. I can't help him, and I don't want to. Joan helped herself to a pack of M&Ms and gave me a few. His mom actually harasses the principal to make sure that Camelotbeard and I have the same classes together, because she doesn't want her precious little prince to be alone in school. She's clueless. He doesn't have any friends. No offense, Franz. It's okay. We haven't been friends since Resident Evil Outbreak came out. Ah yes, Resident Evil. Destroyer of friendships. Mostly because it's like a single player game, right? I don't know. Resident Evil 5 had multiplayer. That's the only one that I can remember playing though. Honestly, I think a lot of the reason that Camelotbeard is the way that he is can be blamed on his mom. At least the majority of it, you know? He's been coddled and, you know, he does think that he's a precious little prince just because she has fed him that line over and over again. And now he's incapable of making friends because he thinks he's better than all of his friends, as showcased by, you know, breaking their stuff. Okay, but he's got Galahad, right? Asks OP. But he doesn't have a personality, Joan pointed out. He just agrees with whatever Camelotbeard says. A real friend will call you out on your stupidity. Galahad enables it. Gwyn's out of the friend group too. I saw how he was looking at her when she giggled at El Cid's jokes. He's gonna call her a harlot or something stupid. She's gonna cry. El Cid's gonna be pissed off and tell Camelotbeard to fuck off, and Camelotbeard will lament the fact that yet another fair maiden has been blinded to the superiority of the UK table. There really is just so much going on here, is there not? Jesus, man. That leaves Lance, I stated. The UK table was quickly getting whittled down. They're barely friends, Joan bemoaned. There was this one time where me, friends, Camelotbeard, and Lance went to the skate park. I thought it was going to be fun, and Camelotbeard's mom even brought him a bike like Franz so he could get exercise. You bike? I asked Franz. I can do the best wheelies, he said proudly. They really are just little kids at heart. Despite all of this nation warring and history that we have to go back through, they're just a bunch of little kids. They just want to roll around the park and do wheelies. Can't we give them at least that? Camelotbeard had the idea that if he could learn to ride a bike and do tricks and stuff, then he could easily learn how to ride a horse, because that totally makes sense. No, that's not how that works at all. A horse is a sentient creature. It is hard as shit to ride a horse. I've done it a few times. My mom has horses. I don't really enjoy it because, yeah, they are animals. They're gonna do what they want to do. Stop and eat, turn around and try and, like, run back home.
And look at Randy Orton slithering.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Bikes are easier, by far. Anyway, we get to the skate park, and guess what Camelotbeard tells us? That he can't ride a bike. Oh, that's sad. Is it just his mom? Camelotbeard doesn't have a dad to teach him this kind of stuff, does he? You can kind of tell. Fatherless home? Ah, that's sad. I mean, I grew up in a fatherless home, so I know it's sad. But just more confirmation about the sadness of it. He just thought that he could jump on and voila, he'd be doing tricks in no time. So we end up spending like a month trying to teach my dumbass cousin how to ride a bike. That is so pathetic, dude. I'm glad that, you know, the people came together and tried to teach him. Something tells me that he's too thick-headed to learn, though. He got mad that Lance made it look so easy when it wasn't for him, so he grabbed Lance's skateboard and threw it into the pond. God damn it. He's so petulant. He's got an issue with throwing things, doesn't he? Somebody needs to slap this kid in the mouth. I swear, I thought Lance was gonna beat the crap out of him with his own bike, Joan said wistfully. If only he had. Oh well. A girl can dream, I guess. I don't think it would have been the end to the shenanigans, though. Man, you really don't like Camelotbeard. If you were related to him, you wouldn't like him either. At least I can get back at him, Miss France, she grinned. Nothing pisses him off more than declaring French superiority. There's a pro tip, by the way. If he ever starts to annoy you, say anything French-related and watch him foam at the mouth. It should give you enough time to make an exit to another table. I recommend Austria. She high-fived Franz. Or Spain. Camelotbeard is scared shitless of El Cid. As well he should be. Camelotbeard knows that he's outmatched, both like with intellect as far as Franz goes, and in strength as far as El Cid goes. So yes, he has his own pathetic little table, and nobody even wants to be there. Even the people that are already there are just looking for a way to escape, biding their time. Oh, Camelotbeard, you did this to yourself. I can't really feel all that bad for you. Thanks, but I am gonna stick at the UK table for at least another day or so. Oh, God. Why? Joan asked incredulously. Lance, I admitted. He's really cool. Wait, you like Lance? Joan asked, her arms folded against her chest. Yeah? Joan's cool exterior broke. She looked at me with nothing but pity. You know he's got a girlfriend, right? Oh, snap. You didn't do your research at all, OP. That's probably one of the first pieces of information that you should have gone for. Oh, crap. Jesus Christ. The word girlfriend reverberated in my skull. I heard it, I understood it, but my heart didn't want to believe it. What? I whimpered. Joan pulled out her phone, flipped through her photos, and showed me proof. Lance and his girlfriend were cheek to cheek and grinning from ear to ear. She had braces with hot pink and black bands, and a face that had more freckles than there were stars in the sky. Her eyes were a pretty vibrant green that complemented her bushy brown hair nicely. Yeah, see? They've been dating like that forever. God damn it, dude. OP, what are you doing out here? I mean, okay, you're 14. Maybe social media wasn't a big thing back then. But yeah, doing the research also might mean asking around. Hey, let's ask Franz or Joan. Why didn't Franz know about this? I think that everybody seems to know about this. So nobody told OP? She just assumed that it was okay? Good lord. Good lord. Forever, in this case, meant since the start of summer last year, which I guess when you're a kid is forever. How had the two met? At a skate park, naturally. She was grinding when he tried to grab some air. It was love at first crash. Oh my goodness, surely it's gonna last forever. I mean, it might, but the odds aren't in favor of that. You could bide your time, OP. Don't go all full Neckbeard and try and break him up. Promise me that much. They'd been tight ever since. Seeing Lance happy was nice, and I was happy for him, but my little heart would go doki doki no more. I had a crush, and now I was crushed. God damn, dude. Poor little OP. How could this happen, honestly? I just don't get it, man. Everything seemed to be going so well. All the pieces were in place, but she didn't see the king or the queen sweeping up the side of the board. OP was bullying me.
Why are you crying?
World War Weeb 13. I don't think it's part 13. I guess it's just titled 13. I'm very confused. Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Hello, user Sincerely Sinclair. Welcome back. It's been a while since you last posted 18 days ago, but just know I'm gonna get to it eventually. It's kind of hard to like jive everything with the thumbnails and the editing, but it does get up eventually. Promise. Swearsies, etc. Welcome back to another thrilling installment of high schoolers fighting like world superpowers. Yes, Hatalia. Very Hatalia vibes here. Again, I don't watch anime. Probably people gonna be like, ReddX, that's not anime. I'll be like, I don't know. I didn't even look it up, okay? I know what you're thinking. Sinclair, an update so soon? It hasn't even been 3 months yet. Whoa! And I know, because college has been killing me with finals, and honestly, I want to graduate now, but hey, I got some time in between classes, so I will get y'all an update. Good on you for prioritizing your schooling, okay? Invisible Reddit karma points, they don't mean anything in the grand scheme. Even the clout that you get from being narrated in a ReddX video, it doesn't mean anything, all right? School, that is something that you can write down as something. Props to anyone who is still interested in this story. Everybody's still interested. We are hungry, please to feed. And props to ReddX for, as always, doing a masterful narration. Oh, masterful. You are too kind. Let me tell you, I do the best that I can with it for sure, but considering the amount of times I actually get hired on Fiverr or whatever to do narration stuff, I don't know if you could call me a master. An enthusiastic amateur. That's what I got for you. Anyways, let's cut to the cast. Of course, we got OP, 14 female, a now former weeb, an angsty teen. I mean, the weebery, it runs real deep, man. I don't know if you can ever be a former weeb, just like I don't know if you can ever be a former neckbeard. It's in there somewhere. You might have buried it deep down, but it's still in there. You want to watch my favorite anime, Has Been Hotel? Now I'm just trying to stir up the comments. Like, yes, engagement. Boost me in the algorithm. Come now. We also got our neckbeard, aka Camelotbeard. Think of like your usual neckbeard with a fetish for Japan, but this kid was obsessed with England. He fully believed himself to be King Arthur, my fellow readers, and that the history class was his domain. Delusions of grandeur. Yes, that is one of the things on the neckbeard checklist. So, okay, there he goes, fitting right into the box. We also got Sir Lancelot, the coolest kid at the UK table, skateboarder, a chill dude, and my former school crush. Oh my god, you got over it? Well, I guess you should. We found out that he had a girlfriend in the last episode. It was my plan to become friends with him and hopefully turn that into a relationship, and now that plan was dead, and we were just chilling. I mean, chilling is good and all, but yeah, I might be a little bit salty that I put in so much research and all this, bought some new clothes and a skateboard that I don't know how to use, and then you find out that you didn't even stand a shot in the first place. But that's not really his fault, so I guess you shouldn't be salty about it, but I think I would be. just personally. We also got Franz, leader of the Austria table, president of the Student Government Association, the smart kid, liked plants. Hey, me too, dog. I smoke trees. That's what we said in the last episode. I just love to recycle these jokes. Recycle the cast list, recycle the jokes. Easy day. He was just an all-around good guy that everyone liked. Not to be confused with nice guys that nobody likes. We did that yesterday. Cleo, my BFF, she's got beauty, she's got grace, and she wants to punch Camelotbeard in the face. I think we all do. We also have Joan hanging around, Camelotbeard's cousin. We dealt with her a lot in the last episode, but somehow I think Franz and Cleo are going to be the stars in this episode. So good. Take it away, OP. Going through a heartbreak is not anyone's top idea of fun. Yeah, it's happened to me a few times, I do suppose. I'll have to worry about that anymore, because I got the greatest woman in the world. She ain't never gonna leave me. We have our little tiffs every now and then, but it's all good. Overall, we're best friends forever. For me, coming to the realization that Lance had a girlfriend hurt. I mean, you did your research, but you should have probably done more research. But not as much as the cringe that I now have, recalling how diligently I looked up the top heartache and heartbreak and breakup songs ever written, compiled a playlist, and listened to it ad nauseum, like I had lost the love of my life. That's puppy love for you. I definitely remember being in like 7th or 8th grade and having this chick break up with me. And she broke up with me because I was talking to another chick. She was totally right in breaking up with me, but I listened to No Doubt's Tragic Kingdom like over and over. That was my idea of a breakup. That's what I thought people did during a breakup. Then I grew up and I'm like, oh, we broke up? That's fine. Moving on. Like, so not a big deal anymore. Oh, those early high school days. I feel you. I would fucking drop kick my past self if I had the chance.
After you're done with it.
But it is those wonderfully awkward and cringe-filled days of our youth that lead us to being a more mentally developed and well-rounded person. Yeah, you got it figured out. Don't worry about it now. Looking back, I don't think I want to dropkick myself. I would definitely have a good laugh, though. Do not cringe at the youth of today, for you were just as cringy as they are now. Yeah, but they didn't have the internet to record it, so that's fine. I gotta get my cringe where I can find it. Don't tell me how to live my life, alright? I had a bunch of people coming at me like, you think streaming Minecraft is cringe? And I'm like, it can be. It's definitely not my cup of tea, but I don't know. Do whatever makes you happy. I'm sure people call me cringe, and guess what? I don't care. Pick your head up and carry on. Don't let yourself be swayed by other people and their judgment of you. That is the thing that turns it from cringe into total Chad behavior, right? So, during my heartbreak, I listened to an alarming amount of My Chemical Romance, Evanescence, etc. That's probably slightly better than No Doubt. This incidentally coincided with the timing of my brilliant decision to wear the thickest amount of eyeliner that I could ever put on my face and wear nothing but black. Yeah, who died? My love life, that's who died. Don't ask me any further questions. In my own little territory of the world, while I was surrounded by countries both great and beardy, I had announced an official state of mourning. My God, my heart goes out to you. Our national anthem was Helena by My Chemical Romance. And lilies were our national flower. God, I do love that song, though. It's like sad without being sad, you know what I mean? It's a fucking bop, if you want me to be real honest. While I mourned, the Spain table celebrated, for Guinevere had worked up the nerve and finally, officially, asked El Cid out. Oh, I'm sure Camelotbeard doesn't like this. His chosen milady going off with the Spanish Don Juan. Nah, nah, nah! This is war. It was a joyous occasion for them. She beamed from ear to ear. She held his hand through the halls and wore his army jacket. Oh, isn't that like the early high school days? God, it was just such an innocent time back then. You'd like kind of kiss each other before class. I remember the first time a girl stuck her tongue in my mouth. I was so shocked, but also intrigued. Happened in 9th grade. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that's the thing we're doing now. Sure, why not? And then we'd make it really gross in front of class. Looking back, it was really gross. Probably shouldn't have done that, but you're learning. You're kids. You experiment with shit. Cringe if you want. At least it's happening, right? Everybody look, it's happening! El Cid hadn't stopped smiling or talking about her when we had class together. Hell yeah, he wants everybody to look too. He's like, hey everybody look, it's happening! Got him! She does this cute little thing with her nose when she laughs. Oh, he gushed. Gwen is so smart, OP. Like she's really, really smart. She makes English easy. He sighed. Hey, OP, listen to my new ringtone. It's custom for Gwen. Yeah, this boy is in deep, I'm gonna tell you that much. Pull back a little bit. It's gonna be fine, alright? Just relax. Man, I was happy for El Cid, but my feelings were a little bit hurt as well. I was in Spain without the S. See, pain. Oh, in your heart, alright? But it's just puppy love, it's gonna pass. You're gonna be fine. Even if you dated for 3 months or whatever, it probably wouldn't last forever. Let's be honest. It would take time for me to shake off the feelings of heartache and the jealousy that I felt whenever I saw a happy couple. Oh my God! Don't be mad at other happy couples. That's a terrible take, but I guess I do get it. I've never experienced it myself, but I can understand where you're coming from, I suppose. You have been spurned! Mostly because you didn't do your own research, but spurned you have been! Thankfully, I had Cleo, Joan, and Franz to help speed the process along. She and El Cid are a good couple, Joan stated. And that was true. They were a good couple. El Cid enabled Gwyn to be more outspoken, a trait of hers that had suffered greatly under the cruel tyranny of Camelotbeard, and Gwyn was able to bring out El Cid's softer side, got him to relax from his state of perpetual frowning that he was known for. Aw, that is so relatable. Good God. Maybe they will last forever. Maybe hope floats after all. But I don't know. Camelotbeard isn't gonna make it easy. That is what I do know. They make each other happy, Franz grinned. And they did make each other happy. I just wanted the same thing. Being a moody 14-year-old wasn't a crime, but jealousy was not a good look for anyone. See, at least OP looks back, and she knows. That's why I don't feel bad calling it out. Because we always got to be able to look back and learn from our past selves. At least you've grown from this since then. I find that very reassuring. The relationship pisses off Camelotbeard, Cleo reasoned, which made me laugh. Gwyn had a thing for knights, but not English ones. Oh my God, it's like that letter that I wrote about some European dude bitching that the Vikings were taking all the ladies because they smelled good or something like that. Except this guy is Spanish, right? I mean, he's not really Spanish. They're all American high school kids. I sometimes get taken away by the way the story is told. I love it so much. Gwyn's flight and merger with the Spain table had sent Camelotbeard into the foulest of moods. Even fouler than usual. My God! The international peace that was tenuously kept in line was starting to fray. Oh my God. Warfare breaking out in the classroom. This is tragic. So many bodies. Okay, nobody actually died. It was really just like somebody running by the table and farting. Little bit of a crop dusting. But nobody died. The mixing of tables outside of classroom hours was acceptable. But now, Gwyn had defected for the sunny shores of Spain. Cleo was making frequent trips to France to discuss the finer points of math homework and test answers with Joan. Santayana had set up a trading post at the Japan table and was making a killing. And Franz was practically a diplomat to the UK table for all the time that he spent over with us. Well, I'm glad to see the countries mixing, honestly. I don't like this sort of xenophobia in the classroom, where it's like, oh, you're the Japan table, we can't talk to you guys. It does seem that England and Spain are going to have a relationship broken up, but they're relatively close to each other. Just let them fight it out. That's fine. Japan need not get involved. They're all the way over there. Don't sweat it. It's gonna pan out how it's gonna pan out, right? We are not the world police. The formerly closed off borders of each table were deteriorating. International friendships were being made, and the outdated belief that the UK table held were being left in the dust. The number of people who actually sat at that table were dwindling. Oh no, look at the UK. You were a rising empire. What has happened? The sun sets on England, right? But like only in the worst way in this story. Good God. Sir Galahad had abruptly been taken out of school by his grandmother. We didn't learn until much later that his parents had gone through a rocky divorce, and his grandmother got custody of him while the worst of it was batted out. Aw, poor Galahad. I mean, he never really had a personality aside from just doing what Camelotbeard did, but now Camelotbeard has lost his only sycophant. He's all alone in the world now, and maybe that's for the best. Maybe he'll reform. Maybe he'll fit in somewhere else a lot better. though I doubt it. Galahad is doing okay now, but those were some rough years for him. Gwyn was happy over in Spain and denounced her English roots. Oh my god! Everybody get ready to clutch your pearls! As for me, I was pretty much useless in those days, being all sad and angsty. Lance was also kinda useless, but that's because his dominant arm was broken. Was that a skateboarding thing? I think it was a skateboarding thing. Franz, ever the good sport, came to help us out. He was a good balance for the table. He kept Camelotbeard in line, Lance and he shared clips of BMX stuff, and I enjoyed his company. Plus, he let me double check my chem homework against his. Thank you, Franz. Did you double check? You didn't cheat, right, OP? Because learning is fundamental, alright? I don't mean to sound like a dad, but I am a dad. Essentially, yeah, I'm contractually obligated to say things like that. Hey, Franz, can you help me out? The newly braced Lance asked as we tried to work on our poster board project. My glue stick is gone. Franz rooted around in his backpack. Actually, I'm out too. I'll ask Yana. I yawned. I hadn't slept well in the last few nights. It wasn't due to heartache, but trying to study for my math final. He's usually got supplies.
Sit down, Camelotbeard. We won't be using anything that doesn't come from the UK table.
Oh my god, now we got a trade embargo going on. Come on, dude. Are you for real right now? We don't have any glue. What do you want me to do? Chew a piece of gum? It's glue, I said, rolling my eyes.
It's forbidden.
I don't give a fuck. I yawned again and rubbed my eyes. Yeah, exactly. Put this dude in his place, for God's sake. I froze in my seat. I had just smeared across half of my face. Oh, the eyeliner. Oh no! You can't take it back! I realized my mistake. Too little, too late. I removed my hand from my face. Like a war wound, I stared in horror at what I had done. Oh my god, I can't feel my legs! Bubba, that's cause they ain't there! I groaned and bitched and moaned. I needed a medic! I waved down Cleo, who saw what I had done to my face. We left for the bathroom, and Cleo didn't once make fun of me for my eyeliner disaster. I mean, Cleo probably gets it, you know? When she was becoming the queen of eyeliner, I think everybody made this mistake at least a few times. I'm kinda into the raccoon look on chicks, honestly. But, yeah, not everybody is. I understand you want it to be a certain way, and if it's not that way, then you lose some confidence. So, put it the way that makes you confident. And I'm glad Cleo's there to help out. I don't know if I can save this. She spoke like a surgeon reviewing a grisly case. Please, do your best. I don't want to die. It was the worst case of eye rubbing that she had ever seen. Oh, God. It would take a miracle to fix me up. This cracks me up, dude. Don't tell me the odds, I stoically replied. Just do your best. It's so dramatic. Oh my God, is OP gonna be okay? I'll try. I can't make any promises, she grimaced. How are you holding up? I'm doing okay. What did you make the final review for math? I asked. 80, she answered. You? 68, I said, wanting to cry. I thought you were studying. I am, but every time I try and take the review, I just forget everything. I don't want to fail, Cleo. I'm barely passing with a C. Hey, a passing grade is a passing grade. It's a C. You can be proud. You might lose your legs, but you can still go on and live a full and normal life. OP says, yeah, but I've never gotten a C before. Come over to my house and we'll study together. I promise we can get you to at least a 70. In class? Or on the final? I asked, my stomach now feeling sick. Hey, your eye is sort of fixed. Ta-da! I guess I'll take sort of fixed. Cleo's idea for fixing my eye actually meant adding more eyeliner to cover up the damage that I had done. Yeah, you know what I said about the raccoon look? It's pretty nice. I looked at Cleo, who shrugged back at me. I did say that I wasn't making any promises. If I had some remover, then we could start over again. I gotta stop wearing eyeliner, I mused. It would be for the best until my math final was over and sleep no longer remained elusive. Are you back to eyeshadow now? Looks like it, I said. Makeup problems, man. I can't identify with any of this stuff. Even my wife, she puts on like a little bit of mascara and lip liner. And that's basically it. Maybe some blush. She's got such a simple makeup regimen. And then she'll go on YouTube and watch like a beauty tutorial. And she's like, these women are using like 20 fucking things on their faces. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't need it though. You got like these lovely naturally high cheekbones. Just a beautiful face. All you need is a little bit. You don't even need it really. But it does help her to feel more confident. Really, that's what it's all about, isn't it? I'm glad my wife doesn't wear a lot of makeup. I go to bed with the same person that I wake up with. You know what I'm saying? You ever date a girl with a lot of makeup and you lay down, you're like, oh, you're so beautiful. Then you wake up and you're like, holy fuck. Just don't look until she puts her face back on. It's happened. Finally. I've been wanting to do this color scheme for the last day, and how flashy is it gonna be? Like Paris at night. But don't worry, I've got Joan and Gwen and Lewis, and even El Cid is willing to do it. Okay, since everyone else is game for it. See, wasn't that the fun part of high school? You could do these color schemes and like, hey, we're all gonna wear a sweatshirt, something like that. And really, it doesn't mean a goddamn thing, but it's fun to do it. I wish we could still do that. When everybody gets together for ReddX Con, I hope that we'll all wear lab coats, okay? Write that down. ReddX Con coming to a city near you in 2050, I guess, when I'm old. We returned to class talking of our plans for summer and hangout ideas. The door to the classroom was slightly open and Mrs. G was gone. Oh my god, chaos will ensue. Where did the fucking teacher go? I don't know if she's really great at her job. Everyone else was huddled around the UK table. They were talking, almost shouting, and I craned my neck to see what was happening. Joan was the first person to see me. OP, I'm sorry, Joan said. My cousin's a dumbass, and I'm so sorry. Oh no. Camelotbeard's like gonna take his revenge on OP? What the hell for? OP's the only girl left at the table for him to milady. What are you gonna do if you ain't got no miladies? Then England will perish. The crowd parted like the Red Sea to the UK table. What I saw would forever be burned into my mind. Oh no, please look away. It's such a violent episode. Whoa! As I walked past the international community, I saw the carnage before me. A familiar white binder that carried the gifts of the nations and allies that I had made was damaged beyond repair. Yana's Charizard card, unrecognizable. Cleo's eyeshadow, It had spit in it. The origami shuriken that was bestowed upon me ripped. The shuriken that served as my only piece of the friends that I had left behind, it was gone. In the unimaginable violence towards this paper, it had been lost forever. Oh, why you gotta mess with OP's scrapbook? Like I said, she's like the only one left at the table that even tolerates you. The UK is gonna dissolve at this point. I'm sure Ireland and Scotland are gonna be happy. My eyes looked to the beard responsible for this massacre. Camelotbeard looked as smug as ever. His arms were folded against his chest.
That's what you get.
For what? For buying glue? God, he's just so petty and despicable and hateable. I can't wait to see your whole nation fall apart, Camelotbeard. Something sharp ran up my back and replaced the jelly spine that I had since I was a young child. It was now a spine of steel, and I was gonna use it. Mrs. G! I didn't scream. I didn't shriek. I commanded. And the teacher was suddenly by my side. She had left the classroom to talk to another teacher, and she had missed everything. Like I said, complete chaos once the teacher leaves the room. Law of the jungle at this point. What's going on, children? She asked, unaware of this unprovoked attack. Is everything okay? He destroyed my stuff. Look! This was an issue that the countries of Mrs. G's class could not intervene in. It would be up to the woman herself to give the final verdict in the unofficial war crimes that Camelotbeard had committed. Mrs. G looked at the evidence. She shook her head and clicked her tongue. Camelotbeard, did you destroy her items? He did, Lance backed me up. We saw him do it, Franz aided me. God, everybody coming to her side. We got witnesses and everything. This'll hold up in court. The worst had yet to come. Camelotbeard huffed and puffed like the giant fucking beach ball that he was. I thought for a minute that he was inflating himself. Instead, he let out a wail and rubbed his eyes as no tears fell from his beet red face. Can't even muster up some crocodile tears? Come on, bro. You need to step your game up. Mrs. G! He wailed. He was bullying me.
Why are you crying?
She cursed me and
Mrs. G, ever the freaking pacifist, scolded me. OP, that's not very nice of you. Bro, he bitch made. He's so scared of getting in trouble that he's gonna whine and cry like a little baby boy in front of the whole class. And I hope that the whole class never lets him live it down. Remember when you cried in front of Mrs. G? We were all there. High school do be like that. Fuck being nice, I wanted to say. He destroyed my stuff. I didn't need a scolding. I needed vengeance. Mrs. G, No, children. No fighting. Camelotbeard, you'll be getting a detention. And you, OP, a warning. If you act up again, you'll get a referral and be sent to the office. Now, try and finish the assignment. Quietly. Okay, everyone? Okay, Mrs. G, the classroom chorused. The court of Mrs. G was officially dismissed. Goddamn, dude. Mrs. G really does not care one little bit. She's like, okay, problem solved. Can I leave the classroom again? Try not to fight even though you've all formed into nation states. Right. Okay, sure. You set all this up, Mrs. G. This is your fault. She thought it would be fun. It ain't fun. You think it's fun to be part of a gang? Everyone else had accepted her verdict, but not me. My internal dialogue went something along the lines of, screw this shit, and repeat that about 7-8 times. I can't say it that many times. That's way too many curse words close together. YouTube, they gonna come down on me. Susan is gonna bitch slap the hell out of me. Forget about it. This was an unprovoked attack. This was deliberate and a calculated move that was committed in front of the entire class. This violated the spirit of Mrs. G's classroom of formerly peaceful countries. I did sit down back at the UK table, but I did not forget what was done, all in the name of retaliation for a goddamn glue stick. Camelotbeard lorded it over the table as though he had won. We're gonna use glue that comes from the UK table. I don't want inferior glue from the Japan table. Just a tinge of slight casual racism. Okay, sure, why not? Why is the Japanese glue inferior, pray tell? Man, shut up, Lance groaned. You shut up! I'm the leader of the UK table, and you're all gonna do what I say. And I say that we're only gonna use glue from our table. Well, I think it's time for a fucking coup, isn't it? You have been usurped. You showed your weakness, and as a king, that's something that you just can't do. So guess what? You're off the throne. We're gonna hang you publicly in the town square over a glue stick. Oh my god. We don't have any, Franz snapped. Don't make this harder than it has to be. Yana would be willing to share. Or Joan. Camelotbeard glared at Franz, who seemed to shrink under his gaze. You don't even sit here. Get out of my table. I'm half the reason that your project is almost done, he protested. Get lost. No one can sit here but me and OP and Lance. You notice how your table is shrinking? It's because you're a shithead. Your table is almost completely done. The UK won't even be a thing anymore if you continue down this path. But I guess he's lost his mind. He's gone mad with power. What about Gwen? Lance asked, who looked like he was being force-fed nails as Camelotbeard descended into madness that was worthy of King George. Yeah, like I said, he's off his rocker. That harlot! He raged. She's banished! And if I hear you talking to anyone else, I'm gonna throw your board into traffic! Mrs. G, I like to move tables. Jesus Christ. Franz just sighed heavily, packed up his stuff, before he was forever exiled from the UK table. He cast a single glance to those few who remained, then turned his back and undertook the harsh journey to return to his own table. Goodbye, Franz. We'll miss you. Why do we not go and join him sometimes? Who else is at the Austria table? They've not been addressed, really. Seems like they got some spare room, and he's a cool enough dude. I'm gonna go over there. Let the UK sink. That's fine. I wondered, as Franz disappeared from view, if Lance and I would ever see his face at our table again. Or any of our friends ever again, for that matter. Surely this could not be the life for those who remained under the tyrannical reign of Camelotbeard. Come on, let's get a coup! Where's the revolution? For the rest of the class period, I pondered my existence at the UK table, while Camelotbeard ranted and raved and laid down new rules for his golden era. Lance was too busy doodling that cool S that everyone, for some inexplicable reason, drew, and listening to its music. Yeah, we call it a Stussy, I think. When the bell rang, I pieced together my tattered belongings. I would not forget the destruction of these international treasures. I rose from my seat and went straight to Mrs. G's desk. What I did next was impulsive and academically stupid. I turned to Mrs. G and said, I want to form my own table. Oh my God, I don't know if you could do that. Forming your own nation? That's dangerous as hell. You better have like a big standing army to protect yourself from all the nations around you. They're gonna look, see the resources you got, and they're gonna be like, give me your glue sticks. You got some pencils? I'm taking those too. Are you sure, OP? This means you'll end up doing the final project by yourself. I'd hate for you to do all that work by your... I'm good with it, Mrs. G. I gritted my teeth. Okay, dearie. What country would you like to be? Canada? Thailand? Australia? Philippines! Yeah. How about China? Why not? They're big. Can't be Russia right now. Although they're big, they're very unpopular in world events right now. Thailand is pretty sick too, though. God damn. What a good time wifey and I had. I did talk about that in like the 10K special, I think it was. Our trip to Thailand to see a ping pong show. Ooh! Certainly something. I did have to admit that in my musing of countries to become, I did like the idea of representing Australia, but that was because I was a huge Steve Irwin fan. But now was not the time to be a fan. Now was the time to royally piss off the UK table. The 13 colonies, I said, as sweetly as I could. Yes! America! God damn. We can do it over again. We can do it right this time. Maybe. I don't know. Mrs. G laughed a little. What a novel idea. Okay, OP. You can be the 13 colonies. Do your best, and if you need help, be sure to ask the other tables. I will, Mrs. G, I said, my blood still boiling. I will. So dramatic. I packed up the rest of my stuff and left for lunch. I was already forming battle plans to combat the beard that terrorized us all. Camelotbeard would pay for what he had done. I had but one thought in my mind as I went down that hallway. This means war. I'm loving the way that this story is going. It seems like Camelotbeard is finally going to get his just desserts. His chickens, they're really coming home to roost. Everybody is vacating the table. Where is Lance gonna go? I guess it doesn't really matter. Maybe he'll join the 13 colonies with OP. They don't have to be boyfriend and girlfriend. It seems like they can just relate on like a friendly level. Maybe Franz will go as well and disband Austria. I know Camelotbeard will never ever go. He'll just sit there salty at the UK table until it sinks into the ocean or whatever. Again, I just love the way that this is all laid out, you know, the makeup being described as a war wound and all the nations battling, the trade embargo, like... it's so creative and so wonderful. Thank you sincerely, Sinclair. This is why we're all on the edge of our seats waiting for the next part. I am always frothing at the mouth. I hope that it'll come sooner rather than later, but you take your time with it. You deliver some more stuff of this quality, I will continue to wait for it. I mean, yeah, I just love the story. Ever since I first laid eyes on it, and honestly, it has only improved. It has only gotten better with time, so I'm hoping to see it all the way through. Maybe we get that climax. Maybe some more shenanigans happen between now and then. But regardless, I hope that you did enjoy the episode, friends. If you did, I hope you'll like, comment, and or subscribe. Maybe share the video around. This is a rather good one to share, if I do say so myself. We've got all kinds of links in the description. Plugs, playlists, podcasts. That includes Spotify, iTunes, whatever you want. I'm out there on the internet. We also got my social medias. Twitter, Discord, Facebook, Twitch, where I stream this thing live. So if you'd like to do that, around 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern time is usually when I'm going. It's an awkward time for my US viewers, but it's about the time that works for me. So if you can attend, I'm grateful. If not, then you'll see the video anyways. So don't sweat that too hard. We've also got my Patreon, of course, and my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons. I'd like to thank them very much, as I do every episode. So thank you.
Mawire Jerry, Darth Luscious, ooh, Harley Hohen, Robert Waits, Camille Sarah, Malama Man, yeah, I figured out how to say that because I've been instructed. Roxanne Wolf, Sim Jerry, Conrad, Ingy, Captain Clown, Jerry, Destiny Piper, Aaron Jerry, Broken Logic, Esteban, For Old Lang Syne, might be the end for Iuary. You keep fighting, we need all the Jerrys. Or Gabby Steve Bean Tom with a bag of bombs from downtown, or Jerry beg for forgiveness. No forgiveness here. Silent Revolver, not Bang Bang. PCB, the original Jerry, Tick Jerry, Jerry's Kitsune, Satori, 211 Jerry, the two Jerrys, a Jerry ready for springtime, yeah, here we go, a Justy Jargonian Jerry, Aspen XO, Assassin Pug Jerry, Bang Bang, Aurora Wildheart, Grizzly, Baby Jerry, Bailey Joy, Bearded Jerry, Bench Gremlin, Blade the Hero, Blip Jerry, Catholic Jerry, Commander J Tank, Confederate Jew, Dennis Dayton, Dr. Larks, Duck, Emergent Jewel, Aaron Era, Eastbars, Frozen Number Studio, Fire Drake, Gypsy, Hadrian BR, I'm Slim Jerry, it's not the real Jerry, I Slim Jerry's a just imitating Irish pirate, someone swap me treasure with not pretending queens and bowlers. Radiated Jam, Itchy Nuts, Easy Scratch Bro, a pimp named J Chris, JM Coon, Jerry Blacktail, Jerry Nice, Jerry Evil, Jerry the Outlaw Mother Trucker, Jerry Beans, now with green apple and Jerry berry flavors, Yum Yum, John Hero, John, Jerry, Jingleheimer Schmidt, you're not gonna believe this, but that's my fucking name too. Crewy, Legitimate Girth, Miss Monday, like and subscribe, Uba Lady Dix, the next to last Jerry Bender, I have anxiety. God. It's a good one. Marble Mabel. Oh, we're gonna get Mabels up in here. Melgar the Destroyer, Metal Fecta, Needless King 89, Nightmare Jerry, Phantom of the Pines, Jerry Kins the Jerry, Queens, Quaaludes and Quagmires, Ramtide Lacrimate, Rose Jerry Miller, TSM Kirby, Sarita the Lolita, Sassy Octopus, Scarlet Scabbard, Sergeant Gay Cop, Bringer of the Law, Silo Imp, Stephanie Gunner, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tomato, Tapioca Blue, Taylor Fair, Tenton Monster, the Italian Greyhound Dino, the Littlest Who, Richard Fusky, trying to find a marble to get back to the real world. You probably don't want to blow into that balloon, not it's a stinky balloon. Unbusy B, V3 Prime, Vanguard Angel, Viking Jerry, Void version 3 because Red keeps killing me and Battle Brothers. Oh, it's only twice. It's only twice. Wikitech, Wilmax, Zephyr the Gargoyle, or Clay, Void Scent Collector, or Cringe. It's Jerry time. Holds ReddX Morpher, Self-Reflection. Comrade Mooney, Kira, not another Jerry, but he is though. Redwin, Nog Viper, Third Step, Venom Jerry, Jace Christensen, one like Jerry's lost in the wild, the normal Jerry. Got my winch back, but now I'm stuck with a bill for 2 hotel rooms. You can share a bed, that's fine. Admiral T-Tech, Amber Alder, another stupid hipster, Atomic Jerry, Zilla Breaker of the Tom Army, Babsicum, Bartender Killia, Blueberry, and Apple Pie, Broken Spine Horseradish, the original different Jerry, and that's Cake Jerry, California Jerry, Girl, Shepherd, Seven Lock, Cody B, Corporal Admiral Lieutenant, Prairie Warrior Woo Jerry. You know, you get what I'm saying. Crypt Teddy's D Crazy, aka STI Jerry, the Fawn Jerry, Death to Tuna, Dopamine Dane Jerry, is Dwarfy Dude, Ghost of Alpha Heat Knot, Holy Berry Jerry, Janitor Jerry, lay low with Vladimir till I can make it across the border with my remaining marbles. Good luck, they're on the lookout for the Jerrys these days. Jeffrey, Gerald of Rivia, Jerry and Tom versus Happy New Year's Weeby Apocalypse, Jerry the Sussy Pocket, Jerry's mom has got it going on, Jerry Aldo Rivera, Jerry Rockstars, Jerry Roleplaying Game, Judge Jerry and Executioner, Keaton Tails, Kid Marvelous, Kids Again, Life of Guardian, Little Lane Woods, Lucia Lovecraft, Machia CD, maybe next time, Milkfed Gimp, Miss Duchess, Not Invisible Angel, oh it's time, it's Jerry time! Raptor Art, she's my Jerry Pie, Snary, that's Snom Jerry, Snowman, with his best in life, to crush your enemies, to put them feet to Jesus, to hear the lamentation of their body pillows. Spooky the Rogue, Spoopy Scary Jerry Ton, Techno Doves, the original Jerry, he's not, to Infinity Jerry and beyond, we're doing it, Unkale, Underwater Movies, formerly the X-Card, a Fortune Jerry, screaming at Nuki's latest magical girl transformation, they make it stop! Throws 2-liter Mountain Dew, grow, hey neckbeard, grow! It's Jerry time, holds ReddX Morpher, Hygiene, it's Jerry time, holds ReddX Morpher, Humility! We only need 5 It's Jerry times, I'm pretty sure. And thank you to my $1 patrons as well, of course. Beautiful people that they are. Tip of the hat, not a fedora to all of the Jerrys and not Jerrys alike. Lovely people that they are. I definitely hope that some other people will consider signing up on the Patreon because it does help to grease the wheels of this channel. That's what we use to pay our editor and our thumbnails and for the podcast too. So yeah, patrons out here doing a big thing, helping us to expand. If you can't afford to do it right now, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like watching some old ReddX videos. How about it? Go ahead. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one, and until then, my friends, bye-bye.